Hey guys, this is Alessio coming at you before the episode just to remind you of a couple quick things. So thing number one, if you have any written or spoken messages that you would like to leave us for the very last episode of the show, you have until Monday, November 15th to get those in. And that can be literally until like 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, just as long as it's before the afternoon of the 16th Eastern Time, you should be fine. So again, that is November the 15th. Monday, November the 15th is the official deadline for all final words on the show. If you've always wanted to have a letter read on the show, if you've always wanted to submit a message to the show, you are running out of time. As of the release of this episode, you have about a week to get that put together. Go do that, please. The other thing I want to mention is, after years of utilizing the track Theme of Tara from the original Metal Gear, and us finally landing on a rearrangement that we really like, I just want to give sort of a final shout out to Henrik Ness, HenrikNess, for letting us use that. I believe I sent him an email probably 3 or 4 years ago, and was given approval. So that's the version of Theme of Tara you've been hearing. It's available on SoundCloud and I believe also on YouTube. But thank you so much, Henrik Ness. Outside of that, you guys know the deal. Do the things. If you do want to send those audio messages or written messages, the quickest way you could get to me is Alessio, ALESSIO, at alessiosummerfield.com. Or you can reach out via the contact form on the MetalGearMondays.com website, or you can just email contact@MetalGearMondays.com. Any of those will work. Thank you guys very much, and enjoy the episode.
Hold on. All right, I'm ready. Okay, and here we go. Yeah, that's it. Here we go. Let's get it.
Here we go.
All right, I'm gonna start recording the skit right now. Hey, no, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me try it again.
You got it? No, hold on. Let me see if I can. All right, I'm gonna jump in right
Hey Sam.
now.
Sam,
Isaac,
can I give it a go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. I think I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm going to count down.
Mm-hmm.
11,
10,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Is that it though? I don't think any of that was on our script for the skit for this episode.
No. Hold on. Well, we haven't. Let me. Okay, I think I haven't. Okay, I'm gonna do.
We're doing the opera singing grapefruit on the next episode, Sam.
Oh, shit.
What if we do something like this? Hold on.
Oh.
And then I'll put like a bed of some like retro 90s PlayStation game music underneath. And then we'll put a helicopter sound effect. There'll be a codec sound.
Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
And then right around here, the theme song for the show will kick in.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I think actually right here.
Oh, shit.
Hold on, all together now. Right. Here. No, not there, guys. Here for Metal Gear.
See you, dear listeners, and welcome to Metal Gear Mondays, the most thorough Kojima themed podcast on the internet. My name is Sam Wright, once your stalwart host, And never again. I am here today with my friends. Introduce yourselves.
Alessio Summerfield. Sam, I am so jealous that your intro stuck long after we all left because Warren still does your intro.
Hell yeah. My legacy. Who else is here?
Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite things about introducing this podcast over the years is that it was always Sam Wright, Alessio Summerfield, Isaac. Like they know your last name, but you never introduce yourself as Isaac Lim.
Yeah, keep it real, right?
I love it.
I never had an intro, so wasn't as cool as you guys.
Do you want to do one right now?
Let's do it.
Just off the top of my head.
Yeah,
right now.
Oh, how do you
think we did it?
Both of us did ours.
Okay. What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Isaac Lim, and I'm here today joined by...
What was that voice?
Bradley Chudman. Excuse me, Bradley Chudman.
You go.
That was really good.
That was Isaac's best shock jock DJ.
Hold up. And we're here to talk about Metal Gear Mondays.
I guess that is true in this scenario, yeah.
In that gap, there's like a air horn.
Like a fart sound.
Yeah, I was just about to say a fart machine.
What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Isaac Lim. We're here to talk about Metal Gear Mondays.
Holy shit.
That's really good.
Since I'm the host today, I guess, what are we here to talk about today? We're here to talk about revengeance. So as we kind of talked about it a little bit in our 1.0 roundtable, but when we were kind of discussing what was going to happen with Metal Gear Mondays after, me and Alessio and a couple other people, Cole and Zach, left the show. Cole was still in it at the beginning of it. We were trying to figure out what we wanted to do with the podcast, and it turned into Metal Gear Mondays Revengeance, or as we're calling it for the purposes of this season of the finale season of the show, Metal Gear Mondays 2.0. And so Tori and Warren and Chris are going to get on the ones and twos with Alessio to talk about revengeance.
More like 2-point blow. No, I'm kidding.
More like 2-point whoa!
Hey, this is Alessio chiming in just before the round table to apologize. For whatever reason, my audio was very clippy during this recording. I'm still trying to diagnose why. Literally the recording right after, it wasn't an issue, but for whatever reason, in this roundtable that you're about to hear, when I hit a certain threshold of volume, it will gate and clip my audio. There's like a ceiling to my audio. So I apologize for the crunchies, but hopefully it's not a big deal. Enjoy. Oh my God, it's another group of Metal Gear Mondays hosts. Holy shit, how many of these exist? We have too many people. But I'm going to break it down real quick, and we're going to do some quick intros. Warren, really quick, what's your least favorite sports mascot?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of the guys that run around the Washington Nationals, like all the presidents, the big stupid heads where they fall over. I hate those guys.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that was real. Warren, also, what's your name? Full name?
How you doing? Warren Minix is what I'll go by.
Do you know your tenure? Like from when to when you were recording?
Actually, yes. I'll say before my first episode dropped, I believe I just hit 10 months tomorrow as recording. So I'll say 10 months by the time they would hear this. 11 months by the time they hear this.
That's crazy. Chris, really quick, when was the last time that you were surprised by an FM radio station?
I can't remember the last time I listened to FM radio, so I don't know how to answer that question, Alessio, to be honest with you.
Chris, what's your name?
What's my name? It's
Yeah.
Chris. Chris.
Chris, what's
Yeah.
your middle name, actually?
Oh.
You know what? I don't know that.
Chris.
Oh, fuck. That's right. That's right. I do
Yeah.
know that. Wow, you're just shooting me in the leg.
Chris is my middle name. David C. Hampton II. There you go.
God, so good. So regal. Chris, what's your tenure? Do you know how long you've been with the show?
I believe I started back in, I think, of October 2019.
Damn, son.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
During, Death Stranding. All that nonsense. We went to see Hideo Kojima art gallery
that's right.
thing in New York.
We met Ludens. He's
Yes,
way
we
shorter
did.
in real life. Tori, if you were asked to pilot a SpaceX colonizing vessel going to Mars with 1 million human passengers, what would you name your ship?
That's a good question, Alessio. I'm glad you asked. Probably Sex Bob-omb.
Oh, very nice. The USS Sex Bob-omb. I like it. Tori, what's your full name?
It is Young Neil.
Oh, very nice. And
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's officially Neil.
Old Neil. What do you know what your tenure on the show is? A longtime listener, but what's your hosting experience?
So I started doing some prep to be on the show in like April of 2020, I want to say, but my first official recording was in June of 2020.
That's crazy. So midst peak COVID.
Yes, it was a swell time.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's so crazy too that, COVID all started because Snake died and his nanomachines went everywhere and Fox died just kind of wrecked the planet.
Who would have seen that coming?
Yeah, that'd be how fucking crazy would it be? Sorry to total side tangent. If the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 is actually what caused the illness that starts Death Stranding.
Oh shit.
But,
I subscribe to that.
Very nice. Well, cool, guys. I mean, so this is like the most recent incarnation of the Metal Gear Mondays hosting family. You guys have been running now for a couple years, which is crazy to think about. Talk to me a little bit. Like, let's bounce it around. Talk to me a little bit about what that's been like. I don't know, favorite moments, least favorite moments. Let's start with favorite moments. Yeah. What do you guys? What jumps out as like a standout favorite moment of hosting the show? Don't everybody go at once. I'm waiting for somebody to say this moment, you motherfucker.
This moment, exactly. I feel like it's that moment where somebody asked me to tell them anything about myself. There are no things about myself.
There's a moment that comes to mind when we were doing MGS3, and I'd sort of fallen behind in my playthrough during the last episode, so I was playing the game as we were recording it to get through to the end. Yeah. So that was
amazing.
cool.
That was very good, and I don't know if it made it into the final edit, but I don't think I've ever heard Chris more shouty than during that episode. And it was great. It was like a fun back and forth between Warren and myself, and then just every once in a while in between sentences or whatever, you just hear, "God damn it!"
Listen, the boss fight is really difficult, okay?
Which that was the fear too, wasn't it?
Oh, the one with the boss.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
At the end.
Yeah. That fight is legitimately. I just remember like getting on my belly and crawling like the snake that I was. But no, that's fucking crazy, Chris. Chris is just openly weeping while everybody's discussing the episode.
Yeah, I did not want to pull that trigger, but
oh yeah, it's rough. I hate that it does it for you if you wait long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember just leaving it. I think it was me and Isaac up at like 3 a.m. and I'm just leaving it and I'm talking to Isaac and it goes off while we're talking. Yikes. So Tori, you don't have anything? Warren, do you have anything?
I do, yeah. I'll say I had a lot of fun with the interviews we did earlier in 2021. It was really, really fun to talk to Peter Lurie, as well as Fingers. Like it's just fun talking to other musicians when it comes to that. Just sometimes hearing about their process or why they do things, and then having Kazuma Janucci say like thank you, great question to Warren was really nice. Like I was really happy about that, even though I wasn't on that episode. But as far as us, like our batch, I actually had I had an interesting and fun on the spooky season that we did in 2020 with, it was Chris Torrey and Nate from the Food Review UK podcast, and we were talking about Oxenfree. So we did like that long playthrough, and then we just had like a totally different kind of game make it to the feed, and it was just fun hearing like sort of indie game stuff. I just remember having like a lot of fun recording those and having everybody just kind of meet people that I've recorded with in the past. It was fun.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I know from like my perspective, sort of, I don't even know how to describe it. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. It was super cool to see that stuff. And like, honestly, I swear to God, you guys, I was so jealous about the way that the portable ops season worked out for you guys, because in my mind, I was like, how fucking stellar would the show have been if every season was like, play part of the game, talk to the fucking developer about that part of the game, play part of the game. Like, that's insane. Like, yeah. So kudos to you guys. I think that ultimately, I think the portable ops season was actually one of my favorite to listen to. I don't know if it's because I was not on it, but it was good.
It was cool after doing the teaser, and then just sort of out of nowhere, we get an email from Ryan Payton like, hey, I see you're teasing a portable ops season. Can I be a part of it?
Yeah.
And we were like, yeah. Did you mean to ask that question, or like, when are you free?
Yeah, pretty amazing. Tori, did you have any moments? I couldn't tell if your answer was in jest or not.
No, it was none of them. No, I was going to say that the interviews, I think, were a particular highlight for me. Just being able to kind of set up and prep for them. And like you said, Alessio, being able to talk to one of the developers of the game we were covering was kind of mind-blowing for me. It just felt like a real feather in the show's cap. So that was nice.
For sure. Yeah, I was, funny enough, I was thinking about you guys a couple days ago. Essentially, I was watching a documentary, and in the special thanks, no joke, was Phil Lamar in the dead center of the credits list. And I was like, shit, I remember. So I guess that interview, the elusive Phil Lamar, that interview was attempted to be scheduled across every iteration of the show.
Oh my God, right.
Yeah, every host configuration has tried to book that interview, and it never happened.
The one that got away.
Yeah, if you're out there somewhere, Phil, damn it.
we all know how hard it is to catch Vamp. I mean, it's
true.
You got to be expert level there.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, so essentially somebody accidentally shot Marvin. So yeah, Pulp Fiction reference for the old Phil Lamar gang. Nice. Well, cool. I don't know. Do we want to answer like least favorite moments? It's like a weird, like, let's celebrate MGM. What did you fucking hate about Metal Gear Solid? I guess so. Let me reframe that then. What was like a moment of like group adversity that you guys had fun like overcoming? Because I'm sure there was a lot of shit that happened that, like, I mean, I was present for some stuff, kind of like advising or whatever, right, but I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that you guys just worked out on your own. So like, what was there, like a specific moment where you were like, oh hell yeah, I love this crew?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not following. You want to know is it sort of like when we clicked or when we felt we clicked?
Yeah. Like when you discovered the power of friendship and defeated the anime boss.
I don't know. I sort of felt like, we were in this like getting to know you phase during MGS 3, because, Warren had kind of jumped in like mid-ship on that, and we were glad to have him at that point. So I think when we started getting into the planning phase and everyone started like expressing like their ideas, their interests, like what they wanted to see come out of the show, I think that's when it started to happen for me personally.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that. I think, yeah, because I mean, honestly, and I don't know how deep in the weeds we want to get or how behind the scenes we want to get. But I think honestly, from my perspective, my biggest regret for you guys as a crew, I think, was just the fact that I don't know if you guys ever had time to catch your breath. Like, it was baton pass after baton pass after baton pass, and I feel like people were transitioning in and out, and formats were shifting, and all that jazz, like the entire time that you guys were working.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to get a hold of any solid ground and keep it for very long. I mean, that's just the nature, I think, of having a project of this magnitude while everybody's got their own personal things going on. But I would say the fact that we managed to at least keep it going semi well, semi smoothly, and still be able to produce some content and bring some new content to the show, or at least dive a little deeper into one of the games, was pretty exciting, and yeah, it felt nice.
All during a plague to boot.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that, like, every single time we look back on the last like year and a half, like, I think one thing to underline 100,000 times is, like, you guys were fucking producing a podcast in the middle of a literal plague. So yeah, like, fucking kudos to you guys. Well, and I guess so that is something that is super unique to this unit. So, like, for you guys, what the hell was that like? Like, walk me through that.
Well, if I can, I'll chime in with one come together moment for me personally, because I want to like link it to a recording. When we did the trivia episode at the tail end of last year, getting some of the patrons together and doing that, because it was sort of one of the, you can plan as much as you want, right? But we had 6 people on a Zencaster, so we didn't really know exactly what was going to come of that, you know what I mean? And it just, the planning that came from it, and just like everybody had a good time. There was like a ton of engagement, even just through the Discord and everything. It just felt like one of those, like, all right, cool, this is what happens when you don't get the baton pass mid-season. You know, like, so sorry,
lock it down and do some fun shit.
Sure. And then I guess
I'm sorry, go ahead, Warren.
Oh no, go ahead, Tori. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, I forgot about Trivia 2.0. That was a lot of fun, and the guys we had on were a good group. They kept it nice and entertaining.
It was very international too. Didn't you guys have a UK?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that's always like fucking building around times is, I think, low key the biggest obstacle for this entire show was building around time zones.
Well, we were relatively lucky in that, I think, in that aspect, because Tori and I are in the same time zone, and Warren was like pretty accommodating with his schedule in that sense. So we were usually pretty consistent in our recording times.
Nice.
Yeah. But I, you know, prior to this specific group, when I was doing recording in the Death Stranding season, that was a big issue, because we were like, you know, Zach was wherever the fuck he was.
Yeah.
You know?
Zach was in a government redacted location.
Right. And then, you know, like Sam was all the way on the West Coast, and even though Cole and I were physically close to each other, we were still in different time zones, oddly enough.
Oh yeah, I hate
that's
that
weird.
about that. Yeah. Well, it's like that Alabama-Georgia line, because it's like, as soon as you're in Columbus, Georgia, you're in Central. Or like as soon as you're like on one side of Columbus, Georgia, you're in Central, and then the other side is, it sucks. Warren, I'm sorry, I feel like I jumped in the middle of your pandemic segue. What was the back half?
No. I think the big thing for me was, for everybody's life has been completely changed since the pandemic, even whenever it feels back to quote unquote normal. It's not even like a fun word to say anymore. It was just it's one thing to like the content, right? Content comes first, or like, let's try to do that. But trying to make sure that everybody was able to have like the quality of life that they were probably not getting with the real world because of everything going on. So it was just a lot of like, you know, all right, how much time do you need? When do you need it? Who's got the best? Like, let's just pick one day. That way you have other time for yourself. I think that was like the biggest thing, because it's one thing to do what's right by the listeners and make sure that's there. But, you know, we didn't really want to sacrifice our own selves, you know, because we know it eventually would deplete the content. So I think that was like, as far as like a struggle, I think that's like the main thing that I would say the pandemic caused, at least for me personally. And I mean, that's kind of like my job anyway. But when it comes to a podcast, I kind of treat them the same, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, for sure. I think it does. I think in a weird way, and I think right now makes the most sense to like throw this in there. From my perspective, in a weird way, I think because I mean, I walked away from the show when it was like right before Death Stranding came out. I think it was like October of 2019. And I think for me, one of the things that like, it wasn't until we were working on putting together this finale season that it really clicked for me. But I went like all of COVID really with just like day job, personal writing, family stuff kind of a thing, like all insular, so to speak. And in a weird way, man, I feel like doing something fun for other people in general took a backseat like across the board for so many people during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you guys were in a very special place. And part of me is a little envious that you guys got to have like, I don't know, like a fun vent.
Definitely.
Venue. Yeah. So I know, so after this, we've got a recording with Nick and Chad specifically to talk about like moderating and like sort of like long time, like, so Tori, Chad, and Nick talking about like moderating, entering in through the community, like funnel, and stuff like that. So I definitely don't want to speak too much about the community side of things, but I do want to ask you guys from your perspective. I think you guys inherited probably like at the time that you guys inherited the show, I would say you guys inherited like peak audience engagement. Like it was like peak Discord, peak Patreon, like people just really active. And so I guess from your perspective, since we're going to get sort of the other side of that mirror, like here in a little bit, from your perspective, I'm curious, like how much of a driving force was that? Obviously I'm sure it was a source of enjoyment, but I mean, were there times when you were like, hey, it's like, I enjoy this, but I'm also like, I don't want to have to fucking deal with these people. Like what was that? What was that experience like? I mean, did you guys have good days, bad days? Like, I don't know, just kind of walk me through it.
Well, first of all, listeners, go ahead and take your headphones out now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I can speak to this basically from the end of, maybe like the beginning of this year to present. The only time where I felt like that was an issue was when my personal life was just like really, really crumbling and turning into a dumpster fire. So that, I mean, when everything was going well and I had what I felt like was the proper time to really put everything into it, that was, as you said, Alessio, the driving force, because I had been a listener for so long. I enjoyed all the fun that the show brought to my life. I enjoyed all of the bits and the extra content, and being able to provide all of that for the listeners was really exciting for me. So, earlier this year when that didn't happen as much, it was a huge bummer, and something that I wish would have gone a little bit differently. But other than that, no, it was never a thing where I felt like, I don't want to deal with listeners or the community today.
Tori cocks a shotgun in the background. Tori, do you, just random aside, do you still have the Venom Snake action figure that you won on
I
your
sure
trivia
do.
episode?
I sure do. He's sitting on my bookshelf right now.
Amazing.
Well, standing. Actually, he might have fallen over.
He's permanently standing in this torturous hellscape of a life that his creators imbued him with.
Yeah, he'll be all right. It's okay.
Does he have a Phantom cigar as well?
No, I don't think he does. Of all the attachments that came along with it, there was no cigar or Phantom.
Can you imagine
cigar.
like a weird monkey's paw situation where we're like, hey, Tori, you win this action figure. And every time the action figure takes a puff of the Phantom cigar, her life speeds up.
Oh, shit. Although, I could make that happen. I could roll a little Phantom cigar real quick. Place it in one of his hands.
Oh, my God. Well, Chris, so before we get to Warren, I did want to hear, because Chris, you were the transitionary glue, not just for the community, but for everybody, because like essentially you were king of the hill, right, from like Death Stranding season into 2.0.
I don't know about that.
Well, I get last man standing. Sorry.
Just call him Hank Hill.
Yeah, that's true. Hank Hill. No, but Chris, I'm curious because I mean, for all intents and purposes, I think before Warren and Tori joined the cast, like you were managing the fan end of things. Like you were sort of the face of the community side for a little bit. So like, could you speak a little bit to that? And I mean, who gives a shit? Like the good, the bad, let's take the warts, whatever you got. Let's talk about it.
I mean, I don't know that I ever really felt like the face of anything, what I tried to do is just keep the lights on at times. Through the several transitions, some behind scenes that just were never really known to listeners or were kept for listeners. But pandemic times are chaotic, so I think it just comes with the territory in a way.
For sure.
Yeah, but it was a challenge. To me, it was just about getting everything organized in a way to try to keep it manageable. Mm-hmm. So like I was outsourcing a lot of the work to be honest with you. Yeah.
I think while Chris was around, it was like the only time that an editor has been paid to work on Metal Gear Mondays.
Yeah. I
don't say that as a slight. It's just funny to me that it was like that time span was just like quick, pay somebody.
Yeah.
No, but smart on you, man. Like I think that's something that, I mean, I'm sure this has come up at this point in the episode, but like Sam and myself would definitely go through some pretty hardcore burnout stints. So I think if anything, your head was probably in a better place than ours was. And I also want to apologize because I feel like Chris in a life raft after the Titanic went down was it was like Chris had 3 people in the boat. Then 2 of them would jump overboard. Then 2 other people would pull themselves onto the boat and be like, please, please. And then eventually Chris was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Just yeets himself over the side.
Man, yeah. I got laid off twice this year.
Oh,
and
I'm sorry.
I'm remodeling a house.
Is that a euphemism or?
No, I have a house that is ripped down to the studs at the moment in East Nashville that I am building into a house.
Damn, props, Chris.
And,
nice work, man.
And now in the past few weeks, I've learned I might not even be staying in Nashville. So,
oh no.
God.
So 2021 is a chaotic time for me. And I'm on my own life draft at the moment.
God damn. Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to contribute, go to GoFundMe.com/. No, I'm kidding.
No. We don't need. We're good. What we need is like in the movie Clock Stoppers. I need one of those watches. So like if whoever can hook that up, something to slow some time down, hit your boy up.
So it's the opposite. It's the opposite of the sentient Venom Snake action figure with his fucking phantom cigar. I'm surprised nobody's done a comedy sketch about that, by the way. Like Snake takes a puff of his phantom cigar and everybody around him's like, no! And they just age very quickly. Warren, yeah. What's I don't even remember where the fuck the question was. Warren, what was your side of things as far as like community stuff? Like, because you came up through the community as well. And
yes.
If I remember correctly, I don't know if this is inaccurate, but Chris, were you the one who stuck out a hand and pulled Warren out of the ocean during the life raft?
Well, I remember something to the effect of like, oh, Warren's got a good microphone. And Tori and I were talking about it. Yeah.
Everybody was 15, but Warren was the guy who was 16 with the car.
Yeah, like he was the guy who had a Marshall amp, or whatever. But yeah, it was like, I don't know, he had been on the show and like had sort of produced a season for us when it was Sam, Zach, Cole, and myself. he sort of produced a whole season of the show.
Holy shit! I don't even know if I knew that.
Yeah,
the
the
Observer
Observer
season.
season.
Oh shit, Warren,
Yeah.
good on you, dude.
As
I
like
didn't know
a listener, he patronized us to produce that, and so it showed me that like
so
he had some like
patronizing.
props. Well, like you.
No, I know.
Yeah,
No, that's crazy. Well, and I'm letting my absentee father show right now, where I'm like, well, I was off getting milk. What do you mean? No, that's crazy. Well, yeah. So Warren, I guess. So first, let's talk about that. I mean, what brought you to the show? Why did you decide to pick Observer for the show? And then kind of what was the story like from your perspective after that?
So then I'd been a fan of the show. I will probably say I found you guys in like 2016. So it was pretty
Holy
early.
shit.
It was pretty early on. It took a long time for like podcast listening Warren to actually get involved with the podcast I would listen to from any degree, even if they were like friends I knew versus just, anything. And in 2018, I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna start reaching out. I'm gonna start being involved. And I think it was like late 2019, early 2020, I became a patron and started getting involved. And then they had a patron pod, and I sent like an email in, and Cole and Sam ended up arguing over like how to pronounce my last name or something like that on the patron pod. And
that sounds about right. That's like on brand for Metal Gear Rise.
Exactly. And it just turned into like a PC thing, and then someone dropped like the horror elements of it, and Cole went on this whole tangent about being, a little pansy boy or whatever.
A
he
little
hates
whiny
horror
baby
games.
boo boo.
Exactly. And then how they wanted to think what they were going to do for like sort of an in-between season or whatever they were going to do next, and they were talking about Cyberpunk at the time. So they wanted to do like a Cyberpunk season. They talked about Blade Runner. So I threw in, why don't you do a video game that's adjacent? If you're going to do a movie, might as well do a game too. And it turned into
Snatcher.
Yeah. Well, they had actually mentioned that too. I was like, well, if you're not going to do that, like at least do something. It had not Roy Batty, but it had, the actor in it. So just little things like that. And it just turned into a thing. Chris actually asked if I wanted to be on the show because I just, I was a pretty low tier patron, but at the time there was like a sale for PS stuff. So I just was like, yeah, I'll just get some PS cards. I think the game was on sale for like $8. So it was just one of those things where I was like, who cares? Like, I just want you to play it because I want to hear on a PC how scared Cole got is like kind of the joke. You know what I mean? And it turned into a season. Awesome. And by the end of it, Chris had said, hey, if you want to come on, like you've clearly played the game. And if anything, we owe that to you if you want. Had a lot of fun on the show. It was great. We actually recorded on my wife's birthday. And she was asleep on the couch from all the food we ate earlier that day. So it was like, I knew it was going to be fine. I wasn't worried about like interrupting a birthday gift or anything. And then once I came on, I got to say the patrons, I really love our Discord and like our little community, however big or small it has been in my history with it. Mm-hmm. I think in probably like a thank you vid or something I dropped, I can safely say that half to 3/4 of the Discord know more about my life post 2020 than most people that I have physical interaction with because I just haven't seen them because of the pandemic and everything. So any struggles I'm going through or things I want to enjoy or anything like that, I'm not a big social media poster. And I'm sure the three of you who I think are all friends with me, you clearly see that I'm not like a engaging social media person that much. I might have my moments, but not really.
Yeah, but I see that you like posts, and then I'm like, I never see posts from Warren.
Yeah, so rare. It's so rare. But the Discord, I think I can safely say, like, outside of like maybe just having a long work day or something really bad, we're in it. But I've been active like as often as I can because it's legitimately fun. Like I learn about a game I didn't know about. Someone's trying to get me a PS5, right? Little things like that. People are just trying to help for no cost. It's just. They just, want to engage with everybody. And I think I'm the last one to not get a PS5. I'm not going to shout at anybody else who got one because I'm proud of you, but I'm usually at work or something. But right. I keep getting, hey man, tag, give it a shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think anybody in this recording
I don't know.
has one.
I don't know if you have been publicly typing, I want a PS5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you don't have one because you're not hunting one down, I would hope that, you're not trying to get something you don't want.
Wait, so
I've got 12 of them.
Yeah.
So Warren,
oh no.
Warren and I were recording a Patriot Club, I think, and it was a night when I think Walmart was about to get restocked with them. And so part of that episode was featuring Warren, like really, really trying to get at it. And I guess I know now that that didn't happen. That felt so long ago, but sorry to hear that, Warren.
Still nothing, man.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm grateful and very thankful. I love our Discord and our community very, very much.
Yeah. Well, and again, like I'm super glad to hear you guys' perspective on it, because I know for mental health reasons, I haven't been in there recently because I have this like uncontrollable urge to engage with the Discord even when I should be doing other things.
Yeah, you're the ghost in the machine, Alessio. You
dude.
were on. I would see you post it 2 a.m. my time, 4 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. my time, midnight my time. I'm like, this guy doesn't sleep. What are you doing?
Yeah, it was. I don't know what it was. And so I will say this too. Like, I mean, people who listen to the show who have written in before, and fuck, maybe you guys were touched by this. I have this like uncontrollable urge to respond to everything for the show.
That was the most exciting thing when I first wrote in, and I got a response from you within like an hour. I was like, "Oh shit! All right."
Well, and it always made my day when people responded and were like, "Holy fuck, I didn't think you would respond." And I'm like, "Hey, like that's what we do it for." You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, all that to say that like my heavy Discord use started when I stopped recording the show because I still wanted to help in some way or be engaged or whatever. And I know, like, and Sam can speak to this as well, but Sam, I think, has never really been super keen on the Discord. Like, just from a usability standpoint, I don't think it's like, there's certain people who dig chat rooms and there's certain people who don't, right? And so I think for the most part, like a lot of us, and I think even at the time, like we had a Slack way back when, like first 2 years of the show or something. And then a lot of people would write in and be like, "Yo, I heard you mentioned a Slack early on, but like, where is it?" Because we stopped doing it because we didn't want to manage it. And then probably a year or two before you guys got involved, we opened the Discord up. And I know Sam, like Isaac, obviously, never engages with anything social. But Sam was like kind of, I don't know. I think for him, it was overwhelming. And so for me, I don't know. I almost felt like an obligation to be present if I wasn't on the show anymore, which led to some very fun situations where I was taken aback by people who were listening to the show pretty frequently who didn't know who I was. I think that was a moment when I was like, holy fuck, it's gone on without me for so long now. But no, I mean, straight up, I mean, just to put a point on it, I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but like there are probably between 8 and 12 people who I would consider like some of my absolute closest friends that came from that fucking Discord. So I don't know, it's just crazy to think about.
It's pretty fucking special. I mean, even outside of COVID times, to forge a relationship with people you've never met in person, and especially such strong relationships as the ones that happen within this community, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. And I definitely remember like when Half-Life Alyx came out, just like streaming that game to people and hearing voices in my head while I was playing. And it was just super cool. It's like, I'm totally just doing this thing and some friends are along for the ride.
Because that was VR, right? So you were probably tripping out real hard at that point.
Yeah, just straight up in it.
One of my first Discord Alessio experiences was when I didn't realize the usability of Discord. So I clicked on like a stream that you were doing of Final Fantasy 14, Alessio.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hi, Warren." I was like, "Oh shit." I'm like part of the conversation. So hey, man. And you went on like about an hour of trying to sell me on Final Fantasy 14.
I was like, this may look like madness, but here's what's happening. No, yeah, for some reason, I think, I mean, a lot of people like Twitch, right? But for me, I think Discord streaming is a lot more fun because you can like actually fucking hear people. Like you can have conversations with people. But yeah, I don't know. I think, so here's another, I guess, hypothetical. Is there an episode that you wish you would have done? Like, is there an episode that didn't get recorded for MGM that like if you were told, hey, we're going to give you $1,200 and an editor, and you don't have to worry about it. You just have to show up and record the content. Like, what would like a dream episode have been for
Fanfic part 2, baby.
Oh, I forgot about the fanfic episode.
So much fun. Yeah, I would have loved to gotten in on that action. I think we even talked about it at some point and it just never came to fruition, but that was one of the episodes I laughed the hardest at.
Yeah, it was a super good one. I do like that one a lot. Christopher, David Wallace, Christopher Hampton,
oh,
the 15th.
I love that. Chris, can you start going by that now?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
So accommodating.
Yeah, Chris Hampton and the Infinite Jest.
So, let's see, $1,200. Yeah. Okay. That's pretty tough, I guess. It's probably a toss up between doing, I think, Boys Trip. That was talked about, but never happened. That would have been a good one. And I was always interested in visiting police knots.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Y'all could have had a whole fucking sit down soapbox on sexism if you would have done police knots.
Ooh,
yeah,
sounds
I think
fun.
that would have been a pretty pivotal part of the conversation too.
Yeah, it is crazy because like I didn't even think about it. I know we had it on the roster of stuff to cover before the Great Divide, and it's weird, man. Like I went back even like in the first hour, I'm like, holy shit, what a misogynistic video game.
Yeah, it's just
Warren,
wow.
What's your golden egg?
I guess I'd probably say when it comes to like this, like we'll just say we four since we're in this little thing. I thought it would have been cool. I'll be a little selfish just because I'll be the one spending the money. You guys all come out to my neck of the woods. We maybe see a movie, play a video game, maybe do a stream, and we would have recorded together, like in the same room. Had an ideal, just like how that, like even if it wasn't about Metal Gear, just like, all right, so we went to this restaurant. What'd you eat? We watched this movie. What was it like? Just like a day in the life of us being able to have time to just hang out with each other, because I still haven't met any of you in person, and I don't know if I really ever will, regardless. Like it has nothing to do with, why we're recording, just in general. It's just hard to do that stuff.
Well, and oddly enough, Warren and I are a stone's throw away from each other.
Not far, yeah. Not far at all, honestly. And I'm actually going to Brooklyn in 2 weeks. I'm going to Comic-Con, actually. So I'm going to be in Brooklyn. I have a buddy that lives 2 miles from the Javits Center. So.
Oh, shit. Well, I will... the Javits Center is on the west side of Manhattan. Are you staying in Brooklyn?
So I have a friend that's 2 blocks from the Javits Center, and I have a friend in Brooklyn. So hang with him and then go there. I made sure to get a room just in case. I try not to.
No, you're all good. I had to
try not
out
to be
for any New York listeners.
Oh no, please. Yeah, I'm in no way I know it's a Manhattan thing, but you could show me a map of New York and I could barely tell you where like Albany is,
Well, so I was going to say in that spirit, I hope that you didn't get flooded out, dude. Like that was insane when we got hit with what's her name? Irma?
It was Irma, right? Yeah. I think it was. We did a lot of window watching. My wife and I had like a cold beer and just stared out back. And I was like, I'm ready. I have a whole outfit if I got to start like shoveling this water somewhere else. Luckily, I had done a lot of work in the backyard in the summer anyway. It just happened to work out that the water never drained. It was never a problem. Thank God.
Nice. We had the opposite problem where we thought it was the water. Turned out it was the fucking water system from the city, and it was shooting water into our basement from inside the house.
It's coming from inside the house.
Yeah,
the call is
the worst horror movie.
I know, dude. So I was ankle deep in water in our basement, which sucks. But anyway, landlord. This is the only property our landlord manages, so he was very available.
That's great.
But yeah, East Coast. No. Nice. Well, while the West Coast burns, we get a lot of water. Maybe we can meet in the middle.
Love it.
Yeah, come out to Kansas. We're doing fucking fine.
Right?
Not to brag.
The Midwest is the ideal place to live if corporate America didn't dump all of their toxic waste there. Nice. Well, so in that regard too, I want to ask you guys, I guess, what's the word that I'm thinking of? Shit. Well, so sorry to circle back for 2 seconds. I do want to say, like, I'm bummed that you guys had to deal with COVID. I'm bummed that all these things had to happen while you guys were recording because, and it's crazy to me that I think this only happened once in the history of the podcast. But me, Isaac, and Sam, no, I guess it would happen twice. Me, Isaac, and Sam getting together to record an episode was such a special thing, and I'm so bummed out that more people didn't get a chance to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, cool. So we've got like a few minutes left. In these final moments, I wanted to ask you guys, say I'm Joe or Jane listener, and I want to keep up with you guys moving forward. What are you doing? How can I keep up with you? What's the next project on the horizon? Point me in the right direction. Tori, where are you? What's up?
I am comfortably situated in the Midwest. No, I
You're
don't.
just inviting people. You're like, come over to my house.
Big old porch.
Come party. No, I have a pretty small apartment. That wouldn't do. No, I don't think I have anything going on in the immediate future. There's some ideas rolling around, and I'd like to get back to something soon. But for now, I'm going to take a welcome break from having a project to tend to, so I can just kind of get my life back together. But I will be hanging out in the Discord, hopefully a little more frequently than I have been recently. You can still find me on all the socials, Young Neil on Instagram, and not so much Twitter anymore. I dipped out of Twitter probably right around 2020 and all that fun stuff. But just try and keep up on the Discord. If there's anything happening on my end, that's probably where I'll be talking about it.
Follow-up question. So is the paywall entry for the Discord going to disappear after the show concludes?
You know what? We had briefly talked about that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Warren, but yes, we, since the show will be no more, there's really nothing else to pay for. So come hang out if you haven't decided to do that already. Lots of people still in there, just up to the same old shenanigans.
Sick.
Yeah, so, and I'll echo Tori. Yeah, I think I'd say we'll say we three. Chad has been pretty open, and I recorded with Freda last night, so he and I also agreed on it. That our goal is to keep the Discord alive. There won't be a paywall or anything, so the hope is to hopefully have everyone sort of invite people they know that would fit the bill of like this audience, because the game a month and the movie a month, things like that, they've been super fun for me. And I've seen so many movies and talked about games that I've not gotten to see. And I consider myself someone that does go out of their way a lot to do that stuff. And I still found new things to talk about from what, at least I'll say Discord users now had suggested, right? We do want to keep it going. Just because nice. I really, like I said, this is more of my social life than otherwise. I hope to get back. I mean, I'll knock on wood, but I don't think my band's getting back together. It's just too hard to get 4 guys in their late 30s that have lives and children still with all this. 2 of our members don't want to play out because they don't feel safe. I'm one of them. So it's just tough to like do that. But when it comes to if more music, original or playing things like that, it'll be in the Discord to share. So that way, maybe if it turns into something, follow me then. You'll keep me, nice. I'll be able to keep you guys posted.
So hypothetically, like if I'm a listener listening to this episode and I have not engaged with anybody at all thus far, is it invite only? Like how would I find the Discord?
I think that's one of those, it's like a minor kink. We're going to figure out what's the best way to have that. I'm sure maybe we'll do something like in the podcast description on the last, okay. Like, so if you're going through, you'd be able to find it that way. Cause even if it's one of those, it might, I don't want to say invite only, but maybe like approval, right? Like, so if you sign in, we just see it. users interested, we just hit okay, do the normal fielding that we do. Hey, does this Discord work for you? Because we have so much infrastructure in the Discord that sort of guides people to learn that is this a place that they want to be part of anyway.
Right,
So I think the intent is to be, as welcoming as we can, and then just sort of let the infrastructure we built kind of catch
Cool.
if there's any issues. So that way it's still very low maintenance, but, high engagement.
You gotta be cool
yeah.
with Phantom cigars, though. Gotta be down.
First Chris, the Phantom Cigar Lounge will never leave.
Amazing.
Thank you all.
Well, and likewise too, I think obviously if anything changes, the edit can reflect that. So
Sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I think more than likely, like I would assume some social posts would go out or whatever.
Mhm.
So, Chris, where the hell can people find you, sir?
On LinkedIn.
Hell
And
yeah.
at
Posting
work.
some amazing marketing stuff.
Yeah, like I'm very active on LinkedIn. That's no joke now.
I see Chris's face on LinkedIn more frequently than I thought I would.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's, I work a lot now.
Mhm.
But yeah, and if you need any like agency work, anybody out there listening, just like hit me up on LinkedIn. So, but
Hell yeah.
I'll probably be
Nice.
around the Discord. I like to stay in the background. I don't like the limelight, really. So,
You're more of a lemon light guy.
yeah, like
Oh.
crispy Sprite.
Hell yeah. I don't know why that is the first time I've ever thought about that. I apologize. It's like Omega Dad joke.
Don't you have some drum roll sound effect?
Oh yeah, we can.
You might have to, yeah.
Oh, do you
Hey,
guys want?
hey, cue it here.
I was about to ask if you guys wanted to
Sorry.
have if you guys wanted to have what could possibly be the ultimate final cue it here.
There it is.
Holy shit. That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sorry. I keep seeing all these like Silent Hill 2's 20 years old, Eco's 20 years old, Metal Gear Monday's 6+ years old. Like, guys, please. I need the Clock Stoppers watch yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn. Warren, where can people find you, your band?
So,
Are you
yeah,
still
I'm,
streaming on Twitch?
No, but I probably will get back into it. I definitely want to do more stuff in the Discord. I actually had gotten a setup to where we were getting ready to do Twisted Metal 2, like long playthroughs of that. And I've been able to, we actually had a guest on the recording we did the other night. So I have like a pretty nice set of like easily, like within 5 minutes, I can do A setup, B setup, C setup. So there'll definitely be a lot more of that. And since school will be ending for me soon, I'm going to have a lot more time to engage and hopefully play music and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm at Warren Minix or Untaggable Gamer, whatever floats your boat on whatever platform. I'm the only person with an X in their name, and Untaggable Gamer never exists. So if you find that, it's me. And then my band Spooky Forest, I hope, maybe this will be like my last gasp of trying to make it work. I'm sure something will happen because we just hit, like our single just crossed like 25,000 downloads. So I just was hoping that was going to be like the fuel to get it going. But we barely got a chance to even promote it. The album was out for like 6 weeks before COVID. So
Jesus.
we had no time. We played 4 shows basically.
That's
so
crazy.
yeah.
Well, congratulations on finishing school. You are still the most mature 11th grader I've ever spoken to.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, that was really bad.
I'll take it.
No, but for real, man, congrats on everything. I personally, I am very excited to kind of see what happens next for everybody. And I don't know, I think it'll be a lot of fun. And obviously, like Warren, if you're in town, hit me up for sure.
Sure, dude.
We'll do a masked meetup, elbow touch, finger guns.
Yeah, the 6 feet away, having a beer.
Yeah.
Love it.
Throw a beer at you.
Yep.
No, but for real, I mean, I think this has been a really cool experience, and it's been really nice, and it has made the world a much smaller but more welcoming place.
Aw.
Yeah, I don't know. I have friends all over the world because of this show. It's crazy. And Kristen is still like, I don't want to meet anybody that you met on the internet.
Ouch.
Yeah, she's scared. She thinks the internet is filled with psychopaths.
Well, it is, to be fair.
Yeah. The internet is a psychopath. But yeah, holy shit.
Yeah. My wife finally like crossed the threshold of like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like she actually was kind of into it. We did a live stream of The Room because that won one of the goes to the movies.
Oh,
and
nice.
and we all kind of agreed, we're like, we're not doing an episode on this, right? Like we'll just do a live stream. We'll do this movie. Like that's what we're gonna do, right? And my wife was on for that, and she was just like, she loves The Room for obvious reasons. I mean, who doesn't? And it was like a lot of like, oh, he sounds nice. I'm like, yeah, that's this person. She's like, oh wow, I never realized that's. I was like, yeah, like that's the guy that did our. I got an artwork commission from one of our patrons. She was like, oh, he was really nice. I'm like, yeah, he drew our picture. She was like, oh wow. So she was just like, oh wow, these are real people that are really nice and sweet.
They're actually Russian bots, but
exactly, yeah, yeah.
It's
So
different.
it's a wire for my master bedroom where the picture.
Well, nice, guys. Holy shit. I don't know how to conclude this. I think anything that comes out of my mouth is going to be anticlimactic. So maybe we just all get really quiet, imagine a really cool finale, and then just let the music take us out. Well, that was super educational. And one of my biggest regrets is that we didn't get every era of the podcast into one room and have them all fight to the death.
Oh shit!
Who do you think would be the last man standing if everybody who's been on this season so far fought?
So you want to know it would either be.
I like that you went into Smash Brothers announcer voice for that. You're like, it would either be.
I think it would either be Zach or Chris, if I'm being 100% honest with you, because I think Zach is the obvious pick because he's tactical, he's in the military, like he's
tactical.
He's tactical. He's got guns. He knows how to use them responsibly.
Zach fucks, dude, and that's really all there is to it. But I think Chris has like a savage mind, like a savagery to him. He told a story on a video we did a while back where he like talked about like pouring beer into the gas tank of a promoter that wouldn't give them their money for performing and wanted to give them like a pack of beer or something like that. So he's got like that. He's got that savage mindset. I think Chris would be a dark horse. Chris speaks softly and carries the rage of a mother lifting a car off of her child. Like that is Chris. Chris can move a goddamn mountain if you need him to. But yeah, so let's so my pick for Isaac, who's your pick actually? Let's do this. Oh, you can't say yourself.
Ah, dang it.
I mean, I guess I will.
Sam would dash me across the rocks, which are Isaac's abs in this situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you seen Isaac recently? Isaac's jacked as fuck. Like I don't know. Isaac, from the evolution of Isaac's physique over the time I've known him has been like just like an entire story.
Our involvement in the show, with our involvement in the show declining, Isaac's peak physical condition has been increasing steadily. So they're like the two parts of the graph are just moving away from each other.
Mm-hmm. We forgot to tell you guys about the section we're doing on Metal Gear Mondays 3.0, which is Isaac, his biceps and his abs talking about rock climbing. About rock climbing.
Do the training montage.
Yeah.
I just remember your best friend will be this dude that you've never met. I didn't even realize it.
Hey Isaac, you've been really quiet. You look very sweaty.
Did you have an ultimate question, Alessio?
Isaac, what do you want them to think about?
Number 1, let's have fun. Numero 2, you gotta stay true to Island Boy.
Anyway, yeah. Who would you pick?
What a good
Isaac?
montage.
If you can't pick yourself, who would you pick, Isaac?
That's a hard question. I'm gonna go with Tori, and hear me out. I think she's resourceful. She will play those. And I don't know this about her, but I assume she's gonna play those mind games. And get everybody pitted against each other. It's like one of those reality shows.
Who do you think Tori is?
This is all happening. Alessio.
Who? Here's a question: who won the most games of Jackbox at one time we did that, like hosts night?
Shit, I can't remember. I forgot we did that.
Yeah, I still have the T-shirts from TKO.
Oh my god.
The olive with the "Gimme the Loot" on it.
Dude, I bought some shirts off of that shit one time that never came to my
Oh man,
No way.
It took
They
for
just
fucking
straight,
ever.
they just straight stole like $60.
Damn.
They're like, thanks, asshole. Get out of here. My pick has yet to be on the season.
Ooh.
My pick is a real Chad pick.
Uh.
And you're going to hear him right now. And here I am again, guys. This is Alessio just jumping in during the edit to quickly sound off. I apologize if the roundtable you're about to hear repeats some information from table to table. We were still trying to figure out how these were going to be split up at the time, and the original idea was for the roundtable that you just heard to be in one episode, and the roundtable you're about to hear to be in another episode. So I apologize if there is some duplicate information. I tried to cut as much of it as I could. However, there were instances where the momentum of the conversation and the dialogue with all of the hosts was pretty intrinsically tied to the stories. So I apologize. I know I can be verbose and a little repetitive, but this was not intentional. Please forgive me, and please enjoy Metal Gear Mondays. Here you go. I am very, 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 very happy to be joined in this special segment. I'm going to go around the table and we're going to introduce everybody. Real quick, we have Chad. Quick, Chad, what's your favorite obscure Canadian childhood dish?
Childhood obscure dish?
Yes.
Are Americans familiar with the Nanaimo bars at all?
No.
Americans?
Yeah, Americans are my favorite obscure dish. So Nanaimo bars are they're like squares. They're like brownies, but with mint in the middle, kind of.
Whoa. So it's like a junior mint brownie.
Yeah, but better.
That's crazy. Chad, what's your full name? If you're comfortable giving it.
Oh, no. You're trying to dox me? We've only been recording for 30 seconds. It's Chad Betteridge.
Hey.
Chadley
Yeah,
Betteridge.
Chud Spudley is my full name, actually, yeah.
Chad, what has your tenure been like on Metal Gear Mondays? Your involvement from first day to today?
I started out as a fan way back in, I think, early 2019. Joined the Discord at the end of that year. Thank God,
which then triggered
my moddom, a mod of the Discord, which then triggered sort of being a host, which never really came to fruition. And I've been on several PCs, but no mainlines yet, except for this one. This is my mainline debut, right at the tail end.
Well, I was going to say, which then triggered COVID-19. So actually, Chad.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I caused it. Yeah.
Damn it, Chad.
Sorry, y'all.
I'm also joined by Tori. Hey, Tori, what's the misconnection that keeps you awake at night? Quick.
That
Nanaimo bars.
Nanaimo bars. Yeah, I never got to have a Nanaimo bar, which I'd never heard of until today.
Okay, alternate. Quickly, name 5 things that aren't Metal Gear. Go.
Oh, fuck. Potatoes. Dogs. American.
Metal Gear. Shit.
Football. Solid Snake. Damn it.
Thank you guys for entertaining me. Tori, what's your full name? We just heard you on another segment, but pretend like we didn't.
It is the youthful Neil.
Very nice. What is your tenure for the second time?
Well, this one's going to be a bit different because I think I started listening to the show when you guys were putting out the Metal Gear Solid 4 episodes, or at least that's where I started. And then I can't for the life of me remember, Alessio, when it was that I reached out to you, but that's when my community engagement really kicked off. And then I guess I got to be mod of the show starting in April when the offer was extended to come join the show. So I modded for a little bit before officially becoming a host in June of 2020.
Very nice. Hey, Nick, if you could name a natural disaster, what would you name it? What would the disaster be, and where would it happen?
Oh man, there was just a tropical storm Nicholas, I think, ravaging the southeast.
It ravaged my southeast.
Oh no.
Hey.
But no, I think what's the coolest of the natural disasters? Is it
Blizzards.
blizzards? Oh no, that's not cool. That's
It's literally cool.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I would say tsunami. I just think that's a what
Would
a
you name
cool-
it
what a
Johnny?
cool word.
You
Johnny
beat me to the
Tsunami.
punch, Alessio.
We're not even 5 minutes in, and Nick has already said that tsunamis are cool.
Coolest sounding.
Oh,
sound.
okay, true.
And apologies if anybody has been harmed by a tsunami. I did not. That was
Cries
not my
in
intent.
Japanese.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know what I would name it. I guess it'd be Johnny Tsunami. What else could it be?
Amazing. Nick, what is your tenure with the show? When did you listen? When did you get involved?
So you probably know the start date of the show. And I can tell you that I started listening, it was 6 months in, and I found my way to it from Cole Ross with the Watch Out for Fireballs podcast. He was a guest on the Metal Gear Solid 3 season, I think. And I think that was 6 months into the show.
Did he plug it? I can't remember if he ever plugged it
He
or
did
not.
plug it. That's how I found it.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so that's how I found my way there. And then I became pretty active on the Slack. It was the Slack channel at the time. My wife used to give me a hard time about hanging out with the slackers all the time, spending too much time on my phone.
Why didn't you say that your wife was giving you slack about?
Oh yeah. Well, so hanging out with the slackers, then I was hanging out with the Discorders, and I think during the time I was on the Slack, I joined on being a guest on a few episodes. I can't remember which one was my first. I know there was Metal Gear. There was the horrible one, Solid Snake's Revenge.
I think that was your first one.
I don't think it was. Maybe it was. There was that one. There was Metal Gear Saga. I was on an episode for that. I was on an episode, the Portable Ops episode, when we covered that.
Yeah, it might have been either Portable Ops or
I think it was Portable Ops. Maybe.
All right,
I could be wrong. I'd have to look back. But and then maybe there was one or two others. But yeah, been a part of it ever since.
Well, that's pretty cool that we've had all three of you guys now that Chad has made his formal debut.
Yeah, what up?
But yeah, that's crazy. It's been, I don't know, it's just been a wild ride. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to just kind of shoot the shit about the community stuff, because I know when we touched a little bit on this in the MGM 2.0 segment, but I mean I think there's enough content from a community standpoint that like we can just dedicate a whole segment of this episode to discussing it, because I think for people who never joined the Patreon, which I would say it's probably like, depending on what show it is, I think for the majority of listeners probably don't patronize shows. If I had to guess, like it's kind of like YouTubers and subscriptions or whatever, right? Like hit the bell, like and subscribe. Like it's like what, 14% or something ridiculous. But yeah, so I think in a weird nutshell, like this is us codifying the listener fan experience for anybody who maybe never took that step, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a free form conversation, but I figured I'd get us started with just some kind of roundtable questions, because you've all at some point modded I think the Discord, right? I don't think anybody here modded the Slack, right?
I didn't know there was a Slack until Nick mentioned it.
Yeah, it was super old.
Ago.
Well, it's funny. So I guess we can start there. So we started a Slack probably a year into the original run of the show. And what ended up happening is nobody wanted to keep up with it but me.
Oh, of course.
And so like Isaac is very, if you can't tell, Isaac's very antisocial on the internet. And Sam enjoyed engaging with it in sort of small bursts, but didn't want to have to like keep up with it, right? And I mean, fair enough. Like for some people, chat rooms can be kind of overwhelming because you just have to keep your eyes on it at all times. But yeah, so we started a Slack. It went for about a year and a half, and then maybe 2 years. And I remember I started to get burned out because I think at the time I was like editing, writing skits, recording, playing the games, and managing the Slack. And I was like, this is too much. Like, I just don't want to deal with it. And so we didn't have the Slack for probably about two years after that. And then it was actually a listener wrote in several times and was like, hey, I kept hearing about the Slack on old episodes. Like, what the hell is that? Why isn't that real? I want to talk to other listeners. And so I think it was actually Sam Lemke, Tori.
He would. Sam, I hope you're listening.
Yeah. And so Sam, God bless his soul, kept asking me for this thing. And then finally I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started a Discord.
I can't believe we have Lemke to thank for that. I mean, I guess I can. Thanks, Lemke.
Yeah, of course. He's a very, very social cat on the internet. But yeah. So yeah, no, let's talk. So Nick, you were kind of the first, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because of your Slack experience. Tell us a little bit about like what that was like if you still have
if
memory.
I can still remember. I mean, it was a small, but I felt like it was a very active community. I mean, and I do recall Sam being pretty active there, at least at the beginning of all of that. Cameron was a part of that at that point, and that's how I met Cameron. And then we started. We did our own RPG podcast on the side, thanks to that Slack.
Yeah, it was fun. You guys covered some cool stuff.
Yeah, we did that for a little bit, and then you know, it's kind of, I'm trying to remember. I mean, I think that's where there was a lot of inside jokes that kind of maybe even bled over into the show, and vice versa. A lot of Matt Campbell stuff. A lot of, but I mean, I think there was also like deeper conversations too. Like we talked about, like I remember having a really long conversation with the community in terms of like African American representation in Metal Gear, and you know, so it was a mix of like serious conversations and silly conversations. But yeah, I don't think it was really too different from the Discord, from what I can recall. But yeah, it was a good time. It was my first foray into like that more of a forum chat experience, but I felt like it was more immediate than like a forum or a chat room.
Yeah, I think even as far as lifting the format from Watch Out for Fireballs, we also kind of lifted the Slack format a little bit because I had patronized Duckfeed for a while, and I just remember the Slack was super cool, but oh my god,
too busy.
Like,
it's too busy.
Mother of God, like it was too much. Like I signed in for the first time and immediately was like, no, like turn the computer off, like no.
Right. Like it would be nice to have a lot more patrons for sure, but it was like, at least with both the MGM Slack and the MGM Discord, it was a lot more approachable, I think, for newcomers to come in and start getting into the conversation with how many voices that there were. And I also think that there was a lot of renovation in terms of kind of like the structure and the organization of it. And I think some of that's thanks to Chad, right? Later on in terms of the Discord. But I think that was really helpful also for it being digestible. But yeah, you go to Duckfeed TV's Slack, and it's just, or I think they're on it. Are they on a Discord now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I couldn't do it like you. It was just, there's just so many people talking at once, and it's like you can't. You'd have to be on there all the time to keep up.
Every channel has as many people as the entire MGM Discord.
Oh.
Yes.
It's insane. Yeah. No, it was, madness. But yeah, I mean, obviously we wanted to do something to like let people meet. I know for the longest time, one of the things we talked about, I don't know, it's so hard to explain because like the first year that we were doing MGM, it was just a lot of like, is anybody even listening? You know what I mean? It was like, there was no feedback because we were essentially sending finished episodes to our friend who owned the FTP server. And then he was putting stuff up on the FTP. And then we'd see the episode populate on iTunes. And really all we had to go off of was iTunes reviews. So we would ask
Oh,
people
wow.
like at the end of every episode, hey, post on iTunes reviews. And I think eventually after like 6 months, I was like, okay, cool. This isn't just like a one-off project. So like, let me start a contact email or whatever. And so I think it was like the contact email and Facebook DMs were really like the only way we could communicate with people. But on Facebook, I mean, not everybody uses Facebook. It's hard to determine who's actually listening and who's not based on 40 people that like the Facebook page or whatever. And so I just remember for the longest time, it was like, well, we don't know if anybody's even listening. And then I think if you're listening to this and you're like, I want to start a podcast, unfortunately, I think the whole first year or two is going to be you waiting for momentum to kick in. So you have to be consistent, because if you're not, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. And so anyway, so we finally, I think when we started the Slack and we started to see people trickle in, suddenly it was like, oh, holy shit, we've been recording for 2 years, assuming it was mostly just for us. And then all of a sudden, all these people were like, hey, like I listen to you guys and blah, blah, blah. And I think one of my personal regrets is that we switched feeds because we stopped using our friend's FTP and then we started hosting our own. And I know for a fact that when we did that, and then when we shut down the Slack and eventually opened the Discord like a year or two later, I know people got lost in the shuffle. And so there were people who were constantly on that Slack who I've not heard from ever since.
Yeah, there's a couple that come to mind. If you're listening, Zach with a Zach and was a big one. I can't remember what his last name was, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Nick Ziegler disappeared. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
where he
Nikki
went.
Z.
And if you're listening, Nick, come back. So
From one Nick to another.
from one Nick to another. Zach, what was his last name? Big beard, really funny guy,
Oh, you're
like,
totally right.
and he was hilarious. And I think we lost him in that transition. And
Yeah, quite a few people. Well, and,
Yeah.
I mean, likewise too, it's like, I know Cameron moved and a bunch of other stuff, obviously, and like personal stuff, but it's like, I mean, I even extended an invite to Cameron to be on the finale season. And it's like, obviously life just kind of happens and people grow apart, but it is sort of to reflect back on those people. It is kind of a bummer to see like who stuck and who didn't.
Right.
But anyway, on that extremely
Oh, no.
God.
Chad and Tori, would you like to speak words?
Go for it, Chud.
Holy shit.
Yeah. No, I'm too depressed now. I joined the Discord around the ramp up for Death Stranding. So it was like super electric at the time. I remember everyone being very excited. And it was nice because it was active enough to be entertaining and you could engage with people, but it wasn't like some of the other servers I was in, like I'm sure the Watch Out for Fireball Slack, where it was just like, how am I supposed to make a connection with another human being when there's this much traffic flowing through at any given minute, right? And then lo and behold, a few months after Death Stranding came out, the Discord became a little bit more important because I couldn't leave my house and couldn't talk to or see my friends in person. So really, like, I know we've joked about this in the past in like private conversation, but like, I think being part of the Discord and like being able to make connections like with you three, for example, and tons of other people, like legitimately not having that would have made 2020 so much worse. Like it would have been so much more unbearable had I not had that. So that's pretty sick, I guess. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think in the last segment, I actually told Tori, like, because I mean, by the time the Discord was really matured and there were like a lot of people in there, I had stepped away from the show. And so for me, there was like a little bit of surreality where it was like, there are people in this Discord who don't even know who I am. And it's a Discord dedicated to a show that I started. You know what I mean?
That's gotta be wild.
So it was this like weird moment. It was like, it's the same moment when you realize like 1 in 4 Americans were born after 9/11. Like, it's just this weird like moment where you're like, oh, holy shit. Like I time has passed. You know what I mean? But because I was no longer on the show, I almost felt this weird obligation to almost be like in the zeitgeist of the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like responding to shit nonstop on the Discord, almost like compulsively so. And I would say like between then and now, it's like I've probably made like 8 to 12 extremely close friends because of the Discord who I probably talk to every other day now.
I think
So,
the
yeah.
first two people to talk to me were you and Tori. Like, you were the first two people to respond to me being like, hey, my name's Chad. I'm new to all of this.
And it was weird,
now look at
Alessio,
us.
because every time you were messaging or making a new post, you're always saying, "Hey, just so you guys know, I started this show.
Oh,
I know
get
you're
out of
new,
here.
but just so you know, I started
Couldn't
this."
fucking
Get
let
out.
us
I'm the
forget
daddy.
it.
Get out of here.
That's not true.
Alessio.
For anybody listening, that's not true.
But yeah. Well, and I will say this too, like, I think for me, I think the issue with those chat rooms or even forums or whatever is like, I do have like it's weird, right? Because it's sort of a catch-22. It's a good thing and a bad thing. I think for anybody listening who's been listening for a very long time, and for anybody who's listening who has reached out to the show, there's like a 95% chance that when you reached out, the person you were talking to was me, and I responded like within an hour. And I don't know why. It's like when I do anything that's public facing, I feel like a very strong obligation to be available for
sure.
people.
Sure.
And so I think part of like, so if you go on the Discord, you see that I'm not in there. And I think part of it is just like a mental health reason where it's like, I just feel this very strong urge to just always be present, you know? So I don't know. I all that to say, like, I don't want anybody listening who's in the Discord right now to be like, "Oh, fuck that guy. He's not in here anymore."
Well,
Dad abandoned us.
and yeah, and I mean, you when you are present in a big way. So,
Oh, sure.
and when I mean, for me personally too, there were times when I had to step away from the community for months at a time when I was going through big life changes because yeah, you don't want to be the guy who just goes in and just like starts a conversation and then like I think the term's Irish goodbyes. Like just leaves and isn't participating at all in the conversation that you started or so I don't know. I think that you probably took the healthy approach there. I mean, with what you needed to do in your life outside, just like we've done things like that in the past where we've stepped away from those conversations. And
Yeah. Well, and it is crazy too. Like, I mean, fuck, the state that Nick is very adjacent to was literally on fire for an extreme amount of time.
That's true,
And it's
yeah.
like COVID happened and
well, I'm in Kentucky now. Did I tell you
shit.
that? Yeah.
No, I did not
Yeah.
know that.
I just moved. So
I'm under the witness protection plan.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you're not supposed to let people know my name's Nick. Now I'm screwed.
Oh no. But no, yeah, I mean, shit happens. I think that's the weird unspoken thing about podcasts and YouTubers and anybody who makes content for the digital age. Is I think there's this weird one-way relationship that happens with listeners.
Yeah, parasocial relationship. Yeah, for sure.
100%. And then two, I think people forget that real life is happening in the background. Because it's like, I mean, sure, people are like, hey, I had a really shitty day at work. Thanks. You guys got me through, yada, yada, yada. Like, sure, there's that stuff. But I do think sometimes people don't take into consideration the fact that it's like, I don't know, like people go through breakups. People go through losing things that they own. Like, I mean, there have been hosts on this show who have like lost their homes in the middle of working on the show. So yeah, I don't know. It's a weird, I don't know. There's like a weird boundary wall between reality and fiction that I don't think people necessarily like to acknowledge. But
I will say though, in regards to that, in my experience over the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, the community has been really forgiving about that. It's no surprise that some things fell a little bit behind as far as show production went, and specifically my engagement with the community. So at least I want to give props to our community for that, because I think, yeah, it's easy for people to forget that hosts and other people who are behind putting together this thing have things going on, whether it's just personal things or big life-changing things. But the people who are here for us are really here for us, and it's been really awesome. It's just been a really gratifying situation. So thanks, listeners and community members.
Oh, the Discord we have is awesome, and the different voices that we have in there. It's a really good group of people, and I feel like they are. I mean, you see them supporting each other, you see them participating. There's with in all of the different conversations, and I think we are very fortunate to have the community that we do there.
I think from my perspective, and obviously I wasn't necessarily in the day to day about as much as you guys were, but like from my perspective, I would say that we have been lucky enough to never have anybody who is intentionally malicious or intentionally toxic. Like,
yeah, I'd say that's true. Yeah,
in the Discord. So I have no idea what we would have done if they showed up, but somebody's listening to this and they were like, griefers, assemble.
Chad did send me threats and call me really nasty things.
But I was a mod, so I was allowed to do that.
He was allowed to
Classic.
do that.
Classic. Let's get back to some structured stuff real quick. So I'm super curious, if we go around the table, do you guys have like a favorite community moment? I mean, literally, I can think of many.
Yeah.
Is it the Darth Vader thing?
Absolutely, 100%.
All right. For anybody who was not present for one of the most glorious moments in chat history, can you walk us through what happened?
Yeah. So I forget exactly how we got started. I think for some reason. So
also keep in mind it was like 2:30 in the morning when this was happening.
Yeah, and I think by the time it ended, it might have been like 4:30 Eastern even.
Yeah, it was insane.
Earlier in the night, it had started that. So Toby, community member, regular who had been around, I think for years at that point, who at one point in his life did a lot of MMA fighting. I don't know if he had shared a video or something, but the conversation came up, and then I think Alessio, you and I like found his full name, and it wasn't weird because we knew him quite well, so it's not like we were just trying to stalk this random person. And we just started finding like videos of his fights and like typing out color commentary on them and how shitty his opponents were.
And some of the comments coming from the actual commentators were very funny. So I think from that point forward, we were like, they were just lines like, "Oh, the strength in Toby's legs," just like shit like that.
The dominance of Toby or something like that. Yeah. And then that devolved somehow into like Toby's, I think his stats on one of the websites were like horribly incorrect and like said he was like 0 foot 0 inches or something. So we started like going around the room and saying how tall each person was, and Toby wouldn't answer. So using photos of Toby, I started trying to figure out and calculate what his exact height was, which I ended up actually succeeding.
I found like a Halloween. Yeah, I think we found like a Halloween photo of him dressed as Darth Vader.
Yeah, and we were kind of starting to give up because we're like, we're never going to figure this out. But then I found that exact Darth Vader helmet on Amazon, and it had the measurements. So I did the measurements of the helmet and then just scaled down his body and calculated it up. And then I was like, Toby, I think you're this tall. I think it's like 5'11". And he was like, well, how did you do that?
It was very good.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then the Life of Pablo design that Chris did in relation to that is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, isn't it just the life of Toby, I think?
Yeah, and it's like 5'11", which one? It's like a picture of him fighting. Yeah.
I think somebody bought like a coffee mug or something. It was, just very weird. But Toby's great. So greetings from MGM to Denmark. You guys should go watch some MMA. I don't know. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I just remember that was definitely like you're staying up so late that you're like deliriously fucking laughing at your phone.
Yeah, I was seriously, I was sitting right at my desk where I am now at like 4 a.m, like crying, laughing. And it's really, it was the moment where I was like, okay, like I genuinely really vibe and like these people. Because before that, it's like, you stick around in communities and like you could stick around in a community for years, never really make a solid connection. And then just kind of like Nick said, Irish goodbye someday. But that was the moment for me where I was like, no, like this is actually pretty fucking cool. And I really, really connect with these people because they find this stupid nonsense as funny as I do.
Yeah, it was really good. Tori, do you have a favorite moment?
It's probably a collection of favorite moments. If I could do this kind of cop out answer, I really love.
Dare you?
Well, pretty easily. I really loved all of the streaming that everybody did, and it wasn't just limited to the hosts or the moderators or anything. I loved that everybody got in there and was either streaming or supporting the people who were streaming in Discord and engaging and having fun conversations. It was just, I think, the most enriching community experience that could happen in the Discord. And I guess I do have one specific one. If I could just say, poo pen ass.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is, for anybody who wasn't involved, which is anybody who isn't Chad and Alex,
Which is
and
99.9%.
and my brother
people.
Chase, aka Spoder. Yeah, it was just a really dumb moment of me streaming Crash Bandicoot, and I was trying after a certain point, I was attempting to achieve the gold, silver, and bronze awards for any level so that I could spell out poop and ass, or some combination of those three words. And it just, it all culminated to a great bit of stupid fun.
It all culminated into a piece of high art.
Yeah.
And is now a URL as well.
Oh, that's right. We have that. Thank you, Chad. That was some good work.
Excuse me? What does
I
that
bought-
reroute?
I bought poopandass.com, I think, earlier this year.
To reroute to MetalGearMondays.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Fingers crossed. I hope I didn't go to a bad website. Let's see what happens.
Chad's
Oh my
only-
god, it totally worked.
Of course it does.
Chad's OnlyFans page.
Yeah, that's me.
Jesus. Nick, do you have a favorite moment?
That's tough. I think echoing what Chad was saying about just like the stupid humor that everybody seems to enjoy. Like I love that. Like sometimes like I was dying laughing at some of that stuff, and I got to give an award to Alex, who is like always right there with all of that. Somehow that guy doesn't sleep, and he was just constantly
Absolutely.
there at all hours at any time. But I would say probably one of my favorite moments, and there's been a few of them spread out, would be vicariously living through people who were experiencing games for the first time. Like we were when we did our monthly game club and monthly movie club. I mean, that was so much fun, and seeing kind of new people experiencing it, old people experience, people who had experienced those games
Old
before.
people.
Old people. I'm an old people, so I'm probably one of the oldest people in that group, honestly. But like watching Matt get to the end of Silent Hill too,
Oh yeah.
and experience, like, just seeing kind of like, we know what's coming, but getting to kind of experience that through somebody else. So there's a lot of moments like that, and I think a lot of those discussions were really interesting about things outside of Metal Gear that were special to me, and special to other people too, depending on who nominated what.
Chad, are you going to figure out Nick's age based on a Darth Vader helmet?
Yeah, Nick, can you send me several photos of you? You have to be in MMA gear for me to really figure it out, though.
Okay. Yeah.
So for anybody listening at home who is unclear on the monthly Game Club Movie Club, I believe Warren mentioned it on our previous segment. But essentially what would happen is, how the fuck would we decide who nominated something? I remember now. So people would nominate. We'd collect up to like 10 nominations, and correct me if this has changed.
That's
but
correct. Yeah.
We collect up to 10 nominations, put them in a Google survey, have people vote. Then we tabulate kind of first, second, third place, whatever. And we figure out what the winning game is going to be. And then everybody for 30 days, 31 days, whatever, plays this game together. And then we have like a dedicated channel. I say we. There is a dedicated channel on a Discord that is managed by people that are not me, that talks about the experience playing the game. And then we do the same thing with movies. But no, yeah, I was going to cite that, Nick, as my favorite moment was, I think, Chad, was it you who was like, hey, we should do this?
I think it might have been, either Nick or like Toby suggested it. And then you and I started it.
Right. I think
And
Toby wanted everybody to play Bloodborne. Is what
Which
started
we
it.
eventually
yes,
did.
that sounds right.
Yeah. Toby was like, everybody needs to shut the fuck up and play Bloodborne.
And then
Which, I mean,
Bloodborne
hey.
got fucking shit canned for like what 2-3 months running.
Yeah.
But when we did play it though, and like everybody was playing it and like offering
Everybody
up their
loved it.
updates. Yeah, they're like, okay, I just beat so and so, and then we like cheer for the. It was like that month was probably my favorite month for Game Club.
Yeah. Well, and I felt bad too because like with everything going on, I would say 90% of the time I would finish the Game Club game like 2 weeks into the next Game Club game. But I will say like Shadow of the Colossus and Silent
Oh, that
Hill
was
2.
great.
I mean, Silent Hill 2 I played on stream for
I
the
watched you
duration of
finish it.
the yeah. So it was super cool, and especially like talking to new people who didn't have a way to play it when they would jump into the stream, and just having conversations about it was super fun. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird to be like this Metal Gear podcast. My favorite moment was not Metal Gear related, but yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I think so. Outside of that, I wanted to ask you guys. This is a weird one because this is a celebratory finale season. But were there any moments that you either stand out in your memory as being something kind of bad, or were there any like difficult moments that you think like as a community we overcame an adversity that jump out to your mind?
I've got kind of a weird one.
Weird away.
I can't remember who this Discord user was, but I don't think he's around anymore. And if he is, if you are, you're getting called the fuck out.
Oh, this is
no.
me. I'm still there.
So-
I'm still
Oh
there.
God.
It was right around the time that Cole got called up to be a host, and therefore I was tagged to be the moderator. And it wasn't very long into it when one of the users initiated a debate about Solid Snake versus Naked Snake, and who fucks? Does Naked Snake fuck, or does
Okay.
Solid Snake fuck?
I mean, the answer is Solid Snake, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely was his opinion, and I had some arguments to the contrary, but just how ridiculously far he took it, like long past the point that anybody else wanted to be a part of the conversation, was like, it was funny, but it was like weird and funny. And eventually Cole just jumped in there and was like, so subject change. But that was my first like, hey, as a moderator, should I do something about this? Is this too much? And also the fact that I was at that time the only female in the community. It was kind of a weird situation for me to be in too, because I was like, is this just my personal taste? Do I even feel that weirdly about it? Does anybody else care as much as me in terms of thinking, is this a problem at all? And it was just like all a bunch of weird internal debate that I had for probably nothing, because I don't think anybody else noticed that was going on. But yeah, just a fun little debate that for whatever reason has stuck with me since then.
I really, really, really want to circle back around and talk to you about being one of the only women involved in the community.
Okay.
But I definitely also want to hear from Chad and Nick if they have any like difficult moments that they want to talk about.
Yeah, there's one thing that, and it happened in the Slack and it happened in the Discord.
Oh no.
And I think one of the challenges is, when you become a community, you also sort of become a support system for some of the folks that are in there. And it's about, and sometimes like I remember in the Slack, things could kind of go to like, I don't know, like a dark place a little bit, led by some folks, and it could happen in the Discord too. And I think that's really important to have that outlet and that platform for people to talk about that. And I think we've kind of solved that, honestly, with our venting channel on the current Discord. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
But because we wanted to have a place for people to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, it can be tough when everybody's like,
yeah.
LOL, Snake's mullet gives me rock hard. And then
Yeah.
somebody's like, my children
Big
just died in a
boners.
fire.
Exactly. And we want you to be able to talk about your children dying in the fire. And we want you to be able to talk about Snake's mullet. And so it was just kind of
And
like
your boner.
figuring, yeah. and where those two cross,
Yeah,
and
of
come
course.
together.
Snake's
So,
mullet and my boner, sparks started flying,
Oh,
house caught on
no.
fire.
and my kids are gone. And so, yeah, so trying to kind of like, I guess, almost compartmentalizing that in a way, but still like providing the opportunity for that. So that was, one challenge, I would say, but mostly overcame it.
I feel like we could do an entire 2-hour podcast on like the psychology of managing a group of people on the internet.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, Chad, is there anything you want to speak out about? Because obviously I know this, for every positive and every great thing that people are saying, I think there's also been like a normal amount of drama that crops up from time to time. And I'm not saying like we should spotlight these dramatic moments and like publicly flog somebody. But I do think like if there's anything notable worth having a conversation about, definitely like bring it out.
Well, I think like the thing that really stands out for me, being a mod, is that I think, and I like he said, I don't want to paint a brush of like, we're perfect, we're this perfect community and we always get along and nothing bad ever happens. Like there were a few times where like, we had to mod people and say like, please don't fucking do this, or please stop doing this.
Porn is not okay.
Yeah.
In the Discord.
But like, I've now that Discord is like my main method of communicating with the world outside of me, or like as far as like not being able to physically speak to people. I've been in a lot of different servers. You see a lot of fucked up stuff, and then like nothing happens. And you're like, really? Is like this is the kind of community you guys are, where someone can say this and like there's not even a warning. So I think that as a mod, I was really kind of spoiled, because like the few times that I did have to, pull rank were like few and far between compared to some of the other shit that I've seen in other communities, which is nice.
I feel like I can think of like 2 major moments, and like that's about it.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah. And when I took over being a mod, like I've not seen anything. Like it's been very. Now don't you all go crazy now. Now you've heard this, but
I'm posting pornography as we speak.
Right.
That's because Chad flew to their house and beat the shit out of them the first time.
Yeah.
So uncharacteristic for this favorite Canadian of ours.
Yeah, that's crazy. Hey, Chad. So now that I think we should plant a flag here for 2 seconds. So you'll discover it when you go back and listen. But one of the longest running jokes on MGM until we had that uptick was us saying, hey, if you live here, leave us a comment. If you live here, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then we'd be like, no one from fucking Canada is listening to the show, because we'd look at the map and we'd be like eventually when we could do that, we were like, oh, nobody in Canada is listening. So we're like, fuck you, Canada. But now I feel like there are some like legitimate, like, I don't know, there's like, we've had a fair amount of interactions with Canadian people as a community. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's neat. But do you feel attacked when you hear those things, Chad?
Oh God, that's like totally a norm no matter where you are. If you're Canadian, not in a like purely Canadian space, it's going to be brought to everyone's attention. And I don't know why that is.
It's the equivalent of the I don't even know how to call it, the upside down seal hand Italian hand gesture.
But like I mean, in the defense of Americans, I'm also the same. If I find out like a podcast that I listen to, or like somebody that I watch or whatever is Canadian, it's like, oh shit! Like it's such a weird. Like, we're so fucking lame. Like, why can't we just get over it?
I don't know about that. I think in your defense, Chad, it's jealousy. All Americans are secretly jealous that they're not Canadians.
I mean, fair. That's fair.
Says the Scott Pilgrim fan.
Okay, it's just me. Fine, it's just me.
Jeez.
Listen, yeah, we could do a whole tour of Scott Pilgrim locations, right? Where I
probably
throw a rock and hit one.
Brian Lee O'Malley is Canadian, yeah.
I have to think so, right?
The whole I think you go like you can't go 2 or 3 pages of Scott Pilgrim without seeing a Canadian landmark or something.
Yeah.
Like, or
Either
Toronto
that or
more specifically.
He's just got a huge fetish for Canada, right?
Got a huge
I love these obscure Toronto locations.
I have a huge raging maple hard on for
Ew.
Gross.
Sap.
I'm just kidding. Tasty.
But Oh no.
Oh no, what's worse?
No, now we're going down the wormhole of semen jokes that makes
Yeah,
up 90%.
You're all banned.
Of
This is
MGM.
now the worst to
Looking
experience.
at you, Alex.
And that is a running joke of a censored word. There is a censored word on the MGM Discord as well, and I'm not going to say it because if I say it, it'll get bleeped.
You got to censor it. Yeah.
See you Monday, guys.
Hey Tori, so let's circle back now. What
This is a good time.
is it like? Yeah. So what is it like as somebody who can't create? No, I'm kidding.
That's a falsehood. That's
true.
false.
That's true.
It's true.
There's a different slang.
Yeah.
word
Don't you dare put that out in the world, Alessio.
There's a different word for that. Anyway, disgusting internet slang.
Cool. I'm glad
I
this
thought you were
is
saying
gonna
that
be
the other
public.
word for that is disgusting. I thought that's what you were saying.
But no. I mean, so truthfully, when we like rebooted the first season of MGM, because it got to the point where it's like the first season was so bad in production quality that we were like, we need to redo this. We brought on Alice as a guest to represent like a female Metal Gear fan viewpoint, mostly because like other than a few people like Jess, who is friends with a lot of Discord users on Twitter who will kind of tweet about the show sometimes, and a couple we did receive, it was interesting, we did receive some like Australian female listener responses like years and years ago, but for the most part, like I think regardless of our podcast, I think the Metal Gear fandom, for obvious reasons, is a predominantly male group of people. So I am curious, like, one, what was that like? And two, like, what has that been like even outside of the MGM community? Like, do you find, I mean, I don't know, maybe it goes without saying that like video game communities in general are still sort of getting with the times in that regard, but like, yeah, I don't know, how does MGM as a community stack against like other experiences?
Okay, well, I'll tackle that in order of the things that you said. First, I was thrilled when you guys brought Alice on. It was something I had noted as a fan of the show. I was like, oh, I haven't heard really, I won't say any, but much discussion on the propensity for Kojima's dirty inclinations,
His
and
master Roshi days.
and or just I guess I hadn't really heard from any other women fans of Metal Gear Solid. I feel like for a large part of my obsession, or maybe obsession, with the series, I felt kind of alone on that island. So when you guys brought Alice on, that was a huge treat for me and an inspiration, really. I think, Alessio, you might remember after one or two of those episodes dropped, I reached out to you and was like, hey, like if you want more female perspective, I'd be happy to give any sort of commentary you're looking for.
Totally.
I didn't know that it was going to lead to eventually me being able to like bombard the show with my own, which is cool. Secondly, Jess, is that at Zanzibar Land on Twitter?
Yeah.
Dope. Yeah, I when I was
She's
using when I was using Twitter a little more frequently, I really liked checking out her tweets, Metal Gear related or not.
Yeah, she's really into Metal Gear and Red Dead. I picked up on those two.
I have noticed. Shout out Jess. All right. It's been interesting for a couple reasons. One, I feel like this has kind of always been my station in life. I wasn't as active of a video game user until
your dealer rolled around.
Until finishing up with like sports and school and stuff. It was always something I was mildly interested in, but didn't have a lot of time to devote to. So I didn't know, outside of some talk here and there, how like toxically masculine the community of video game fans could be.
You can
Oh,
call them
yeah.
gamers.
Yeah, I don't. Hashtag gamers.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not sure
no.
which is worse, me dancing around the term gamers or me actually saying gamers. So yeah,
I hate them.
It was. It's always interesting to be confronted with that in my face, as opposed to just kind of hearing stories about how gross it can be. I never, truthfully, I never had terrible experiences for my own standards, but I also wonder sometimes if some of that has to do with the fact that I'm like very obviously queer. For one thing, I don't know if I have the same level of offense to take from some things, or maybe it's just that I don't know. It's been interesting. However, in the community, like I said, I've never encountered anything totally egregious. Everybody that I've had any sort of encounter with has been nothing but welcoming and supportive, and nothing incredibly offensive or harsh has been said.
That's what $1 a month as a paywall will get you, guys.
Yeah.
That's true.
No,
So
for
yeah,
sure. I mean, I'm sure that weeds out some of it.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, or maybe because because I infiltrated the show and it was made known how big of a fan you all are of me. Maybe some people were afraid to voice their true opinions. So for that, I thank everyone.
For that, we give a big fuck you.
No, it's been
Tori's Operation Intrude MGM.
Yeah,
she snuck in behind the
fucking
line.
worked so well, just like my nickname would suggest. I just kind of would hang around until finally I was accepted and took the place of some better bass player. I kind of lost the thread here.
Oh my god!
No, it's
well,
been...
and I will say too, to speak to what you were saying earlier, I think you going by Young Neil legitimately threw off a couple people.
Oh,
in the
it
Discord.
confused so many people.
Sure.
Because I can't even tell you how many people I had message me and be like, "Holy shit, is Young Neil female?"
Yeah. I was oh god. I was misgendered a couple times, which never bothered me. Like I go by Young Neil, and I have heard of male Tories before. So yeah, that was never a big deal. But also, like, on a grander scale, I weirdly am kind of proud of the fact that I'm one of the few that can hang with the incredibly sometimes misogynistic themes of the Metal Gear universe. I don't know if that's something to be proud of or not, but it's
well, regardless of how shitty Kojima can be and how shitty the tone of the series can be, I do legitimately believe that Kojima accidentally gave birth to one of the strongest female...
Oh, for sure.
I would say strongest female, and I do believe it's fairly hinted at that she's bi.
Oh, dope. Yeah.
That, like, the boss is, like, a fucking stellar...
Yeah, get it.
Fucking character. And it's crazy that, I don't know, that, like, the fandom... Okay, so fans and gamers suck. Let's move on.
Well, even without the boss, which, by the way, I was incredibly lucky to have gotten good feedback on. My first original contribution to the show was my deep dive into the boss as a character, which was incredible. One of the best characters in video games anywhere, in my personal opinion. But even without that, having some of those kind of ludicrous moments in terms of how women are treated within the games, at the very least, it was really great fodder for conversation, which I was happy to be a part of. So I guess to sum up, that part of it has been pretty great for me personally.
For sure. And I do want to add this one other thing too, because I mean, sure, there are meatheads everywhere, and we definitely have some dumb moments here and there, even with intelligent people. But I think one of the things that I have always noticed, and maybe this is me going back and like retconning my favorite moment or whatever, but myself included in the Discord, I think we have had a really well curated community of people that, like, when they fuck up, I would say more often than not, I have seen people embrace that they fucked up, acknowledge why and how they fucked up, and then move on better than they did before they got told that they fucked up.
For sure.
Sure.
For sure.
And I think that's more important than people give credit, because I think even outside of the internet, like, and maybe it's easier on the internet because it's text, but during my day-to-day, like, I would be hard pressed to tell you anyone in my life who is quick to admitting they fucked up.
Oh yeah, that's rare.
Definitely.
And so it's interesting just how many people we have. I mean, we definitely have people who can be, and myself included, can be a little stubborn and hard-headed. But I mean, I've been witness to some, like, legitimate educating in our Discord before.
That just goes to show what a dope community this is. And as weird of a subject matter as Kojima games, it brings in a diverse crowd of people.
Oh yeah,
and
big time.
I think this is a huge credit to you, Alessio, and the people that you had on the original version of the show. You really established that it's a space where you can, dick around and talk about goofy shit, but at the end of the day, you're also like, you're here for reasons of creating a Discord, forgive the pun, where everybody is welcome and everybody should feel comfortable and welcome to join the conversation, which I've always appreciated the shit out of.
Well, and of course, there was my 2-hour diatribe on gun fetishists and military nuts being totally missing, quote, the fucking point.
Oh, well, that too.
But, I mean, that's also like Metal Gear Solid is the example of be careful what you pretend to be.
Mm-hmm.
But no, this is crazy. Well, and after all these positive things about the community, let's talk about how we're euthanizing it. No, I'm kidding. But no, I mean, I guess so. Seriously, so and I know, Tori, you mentioned it on the last segment that we recorded with the 2.0 hosts, but it sounds like we're kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, opening the floodgates as far as, like, obviously, like, with the show concluding, the Patreon's not going to continue, but that it'll be sort of like an invite only kind of vetting, hey, you should come join the party kind of a thing. Is that accurate?
For the Discord specifically, yeah.
Correct.
The Patreon won't be active after this point,
it'll be gone.
There's not content being provided for you guys anymore. Thank you for your money, by the way.
Well, I was going to install cameras in every room of my house and just stream it for
patrons. Oh shit! Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to charge for that, I'm sure you could get fat stacks for that, Alessio. Shit. But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to put words in you guys' mouth. I mean, if a formal plan hasn't been formulated, we don't have to make any formal announcements.
No, nothing formal. As of right now, just kind of coming to terms with the fact that the show will be no more. There will still be hanging out in the Discord. So please, if you or a friend of yours is somebody who likes to talk about weird things that are either Kojima related or not, our Discord is pretty fucking fun. It's been a really interesting and entertaining place to be. So you don't have to pay. Maybe we ask that you don't bring any bummers into the crew, but that's about it.
Well, and I would imagine, there's the potential that something may rise from the ashes of everything as well, right? I would think that there could be a next.
This is when we're all like, Nick, actually, we're all killing ourselves.
Oh, shit.
I'm starting a Final Fantasy podcast where I go through every game in the series by myself with no other hosts or no guests.
Chad, I just need you to know that the ongoing joke, and Cameron and Nick have proved that it will fucking destroy you.
It's so time consuming to do an RPG podcast. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I think so in general. Yeah, I think it's been really weird to see the offshoots and the permutations and sort of evolution of something that got started between three friends. I don't know, three friends and some shitty microphones and a bootleg copy of Adobe Audition. It was weird to see that turn into like, I don't know, like you could probably, we always joked around about doing like a meetup group outside of like a convention. But it's super cool to think that like if money wasn't an object and we got everybody from the Discord or all the listeners who've like made an impact in one place, it's super cool to think that we could probably put like 100, 200 people into one space and have a really good fucking time.
Sounds dope.
It's wild. This has created like genuine, like probably lifelong friendships. Like I know you and I were talking about how the absurdity of this is, one-on-one the other day, but like, it's pretty wild for me to go from listening to a show and then like going to visit the host of said show in like 2 years. It's like, fucking, what the fuck? Like, that's such a weird thing to imagine.
Yeah. Also, spoiler, Chad and I are meeting in New York in like 2 months.
Yeah.
Or I guess a month and a half. Time is nothing.
3 months. Christmas is in 3 months. What month is it where you are?
What year is this?
Yeah, there's something weird about like the idea of meeting people in person that you've just talked to online. It's like you don't really know them, and it feels like super strange. But like, yeah, just with this show in general, there are a few people that I'd be like, yeah, I would go visit them in person. And like I met Alessio on my way when I was moving to California out west. Like I ended up stopping in St. Louis, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And but I don't think I would have done that with like other communities or forums or people from different places. I'd be more cautious, I think. But and Alessio,
that's how I get you.
Yeah, and Alessio stabbed me,
and I'm still in his New York basement.
And I'm still in. Yep. And when we're done with this, I don't know what he's gonna do.
Oh shit!
No,
Nick,
I will say when Nick pulled up and I could see him like out from the window on the second floor of it was our Forever National. It was like our studio space. And I was like legitimately nervous. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Nick!
Wow, that's Nick.
He has a body." Weirdly enough,
listen, Alessio, when you put it that way, it's a lot more creepy. Nick, do me a favor.
Body.
Alessio, take off your headphones. Nick, if you're in need of a rescue, go ahead and clap twice. Oh my god!
I mean, that sounds like something else, man. I don't know what
sure
that
does.
was.
Anyway.
So
Nick has a body.
Alessio's looking down at me.
Yeah. No. It was super cool. Well, so the weird thing about me and Nick, and I think it's come up a couple of times. So not only did he find the podcast because of Cole Ross, but we later found out that a guy I work with, and I still work with on independent film projects, fucking went to college with Nick.
Yeah.
So it was
absurd.
It was this weird, like Nick was like, "Oh, I'm from here," and I was like, "Oh, I know a guy from there," and then he was like, well, we exchanged the names or whatever, and Nick was like, "I know that guy," and I was like, "What the fuck? Like, what is happening?"
Yeah,
and then I talked to my other friend, and he was telling me about Nick, and I'm like, "Okay, this is bizarre."
Yeah, and it made it maybe even more like, oh, is this all orchestrated? This stranger who's coming to my workplace, probably. I'm sure there was, but I looked up and I just saw this I don't remember what floor you guys were on, but I saw in the window this like mischievous smile looking down from me up in the window.
Looking at your body.
Yes, and now I'm in the basement.
Well, I mean, it's super weird too. So like Sam and I want to say podcasted for 10 years combined before we ever met in person.
Wow.
And it was so weird because it's like obviously over webcam or whatever, you like see each other, but it was so weird to have like physical body presence.
Yeah, that is
with this person. So yeah, I just remember like hugging Sam for the first time was like one of the most surreal experiences. But yeah, bodies are weird. On that note, yeah. So where can people find you? So other than the Discord, because I'm assuming everybody here, and maybe at some point I will set some healthy boundaries and make my way to the Discord again. But other than the Discord, where can people, like, if people are like, "Fuck, I want to follow Tori, she's super cool," or "Shit, Chud Spudley is so cool," where can people find you, Tori?
She's
Tori's
gone. You can't find her anywhere.
Sorry, was taking taking a drink there. You can find me on Instagram at Young Neil. Not so
Oh,
active
it's like
on
YNG Neil, isn't it?
YNG Neil, yeah. Same thing on Twitter, although it's underscore YNG Neil. I'm not on Twitter so much these days. If you really must, you can find me at my name on Facebook. Initially, I just got it for the sole purpose of managing the Metal Gear Mondays Facebook page, which is not going to be a thing anymore. Yeah,
All
I'll be
12
around.
people will be upset.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be in the Discord here and there. Yeah, otherwise you
Any new
can
projects?
shout my name into the void. There are ideas just kind of bouncing around in the old noggin for what to do next. Nothing is really concrete yet, but you may not have heard the last from me just yet. So
That sounds so creepy.
You have not heard the last of young Neil.
Inspector Gadget.
I will be lurking in the shadows. Only when it is time will you know. Yeah, just check out those spaces, and maybe someday there will be something for you to delight in. I don't know. Fuck, guys.
This is
It's all up
amazing.
in the
Please just
air. I
keep
don't know.
talking.
Just yes, I will fill this time with nonsense. I don't know. Yeah, there are prospective projects that I would like to work on. So keep in touch. Discord would probably be the best place. If there's anything that's going to happen in the future, that's probably where I'm going to drop the bomb. So,
Oh, damn.
yeah.
You'll know her when she's controlling Earth's population from an ivory tower.
That is correct.
Nice.
Chad, where can people find you?
You can find me on the Discord under Kilometers Davis. You can find me on Twitter at Kilometers D. And you can find me on Twitch. I've taken a bit of a break, but I'm going to be returning Kilometers_Davis. And each of those instances, Kilometers is spelled the good old Canadian way, which is METRES. So make sure you don't freak it up.
Nice. Queen's English. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, we love it, the Queen.
Nick, I'm sorry, before we get to you, Chad, what is it like to be on a mainline episode? And what is it like for that mainline episode to be the end of the entire show?
I mean, you got to go out with a bang, right? Now I can finally go back and actually play the games and listen to the show.
That's
So
my
that's
favorite.
nice.
Yeah, that's my favorite detail. Hold on. Please, can you tell the listeners at home that you modded an MGS Discord but have never played anything except for the first?
I played the first. Yeah, I played Metal Gear Solid and I played Death Stranding, and I think I played about 5 minutes of the Game Boy Color game. And that's
Is this true? Is this actually
This
true?
is dead. Oh yeah, this is a joke, but it's also incredibly true because I started listening after playing.
Nick's shook.
Nick's like, "What
I
the
am
fuck?
shook. Get the
Who
fuck
let him
outta
in the
here,
community?"
Chad. What are you doing here? Go
I
play Metal
started
Gear.
playing the series. I was like, "Fuck! I really want to listen to people actually go through this." And I found the podcast, and I fell in love with it. And then I had plans to start the second game, and I just got sidetracked. And 2 years later, I still haven't done that.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
pretty
Death Stranding
great.
came out. I don't know. Fuck.
So arguably you've played Kojima's best games, right? Metal Gear
Yeah.
Solid, Ghost
Yeah.
Babel, and Death Stranding.
yeah. That's the top three right there.
Nick, your first episode was Portable Ops, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
Nick, you've played Metal Gear, right?
Metal Gear?
Oh no. Yeah, Nick, where can people find you? And
I'm in Alessio.
What's your favorite Metal Gear?
Let's see. My favorite Metal Gear is whichever Metal Gear I'm playing at the time. Generally,
Wow.
Answer.
Cop out answer.
with exceptions. I don't know. I flip flop between Metal Gear Solid 3 and Metal Gear Solid 1, and sometimes Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't know. It's tough.
I think much like Silent Hill, the first three are like immaculate.
Immaculate. Yes.
Alessio, how come you didn't ask me which one my favorite is?
Because you haven't played any of them.
Oh, true. I like the first one.
This might be. So I personally think you can't play the second one without playing the first one. In my humble opinion,
Well,
like
yeah.
the effect does not
Sure.
work. But I swear to God, I think the original Metal Gear Solid, after all these years, the one I go back to the most with the most affection and maybe it's because it was my first one, but I swear to God, the atmosphere, the sound design, all of it, MGS1 is the best fucking.
Best,
real good
best,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
best,
the best one. It's
best-
so
I like
good.
it a lot.
best atmosphere, and also it really works as kind of a standalone piece.
Yeah, it's
So
Yeah.
I think that helps a lot.
Full agreed. And also, I fucked up. I played the second one before I played the first one. So
Oh, no.
I know, much to Alessio's lament.
It's just probably super confusing.
So you were playing Metal Gear Solid 1. You're like, where is Raiden? Why am I not getting to play as
Oh
Raiden?
no. When I first started playing Metal Gear Solid 2, it was after watching my brother Chase, aka Spoder, shout out, what? I had watched Chase play a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 1 first and a little bit of Metal Gear Solid 2, and was not a fan of Raiden, as Kojima and company predicted I would be as a female consumer of the game.
Amazing. Sorry, Nick. We went off on a tangent. Where can people find you?
Yeah, sorry. Nick.
In Alessio's basement, you'll find me.
Please
No,
Nick,
don't.
send coordinates, man.
Yeah.
No, please don't.
I know his address.
Please don't. I don't want him to leave. So I'm just really mostly on the Discord. So I think that's probably the best place to find me. We're still doing the monthly movie and game club stuff.
Super
so
good.
yeah, and so we're getting close to the next round where I'm going to send out the call for nominations. So that's probably the best place to find me. I know we're still doing some stuff. Like Warren and I are still doing recordings on the movies from time to time. So not sure where those will live, but we
In
will see.
Alessio's basement.
In Alessio's
Hey.
basement.
Just like everyone.
We all live in Alessio's basement.
Yeah.
That's when the grand reveal at the end of this episode is like the entire Discord is just chained up in my basement.
Yeah. And will the episodes be going away for the
Oh, no, not at all.
those will
Hot
still be
damn.
available.
I have
Yeah,
to listen
yeah.
to them.
So
Yeah, the whole feed will exist.
So you can also find me there talking about Portable Ops, Snake's Revenge, and the Metal Gear Saga. Oh, you know what? I was on a Metal Gear Solid 4 episode as well. I forgot about that.
Oh, right.
So,
Man, fucking everybody and their mother was on
I don't know.
MGS. Because it was like every episode had a guest. Like
Yeah.
every single episode.
Yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, and we need to figure out what the fuck's gonna happen now that I think about it with all these Patriot Club episodes.
Mm.
Well,
Because
if
like,
there's no Patreon, just make them
Yeah.
public, I guess.
yeah, because the feed is gone. So I don't know. Maybe we'll put them in a Dropbox or something, or I can put them in Google Drive, and we can just like pin it in Discord. I don't know.
We could just say, if you're a patron, fucking download all that shit now. It's going away.
Oh, I love that. Limited time performances, baby. I'm all about it.
But we should also have a super secret special Dropbox one. So we also
Yeah,
have
for
it.
preservation.
Correct. Well, cool. Yeah. So everybody can find me at alessiosummerfield.com, at AC Summerfield on pretty much anything. And yeah, I'm going to just put this out into the world because I am still working on these things. I'm actually currently working on a hybrid documentary narrative film with a longtime listener of the show, Liquid Metal Mike.
Dope.
We have been like Postal Service-esque, sending each other snippets of a thing, and like it's weird. It's interesting. We've been like making a film over email, essentially.
That's cool.
But yeah, so we're working on that. I just finished writing 3 short film scripts, a page 1 rewrite of a novelized or of an adapted novel screenplay, and I wrote a TV screenplay pilot for a showrunner. So I'm doing a fuck ton of writing. But I'm also finishing a novel.
Let's go.
It's going to be great. I'm currently rewriting a large portion of that novel. But yeah, I'm putting out a lot of shit. So just alessiosummerfield.com. And I am going to have that website totally redone in like 3 months. So I am busy and excited. So check that stuff out. Metal Gear Mondays. I don't know if the website for MGM is going to continue to survive. So
Poopinass.com is going to have to.
Yeah. So if you hear this, hustle over to metalgearmondays.com and grab whatever the fuck you can.
A fire sale.
Yeah. There's a fire. Sail.
Everything must go.
But yes, so go do that, and then you'll hear the rest of the finale season. So enjoy that. So last segment, we ended by all of us imagining what the best ending for the episode would be in silence. I think on this one, let's all say our favorite single word that we associate with the Discord at the count of 3.
No.
Oh, wait.
No.
I got it.
Everybody, lock it in. Everybody,
gotta
just
think.
lock it in. Oh fuck! I don't even think I've got it.
God.
Okay, I've got it. Is everybody ready? Come on, Nick.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
I am gamer.
Yes.
Bam, bam. Wow, that's good.
You scared me.
Isaac, which Metal Gear Mondays host would you choose to be the new host for Jeopardy?
Can I
Hold on,
say?
I need to get really close to the mic. Isaac, you better fucking say me. Otherwise, I'm fucking coming for you and your entire fucking bloodline.
I'm gonna have to get an audition. I need your best.
I hope
use that in a
hope,
sentence?
yeah. I hope that comes across as uncomfortably as possible.
Yeah, it felt like you were in my earphone, like you were in my.
It was
ear
wild,
cup.
man. You were right behind me.
My tongue was hitting my eardrum.
that Dolby digital surround sound fucking coming at you. Sheesh. Sheesh. There we go. Zoomers, you like that one?
Hey, we got it.
Fuck you, Zoomers. I love encountering people where they're like, "What's a Zoomer?" And I'm like, "You don't need to know."
Don't. Just if you don't know, it's better for you.
Yes. Okay, so message for the Zoomers:
Mm-hmm.
don't play Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so yeah, I guess this to sincerely put a point to it. So this is the end of the family reunion episodes.
Mm-hmm.
The next episodes that we're going to get into are kind of a variety. They're a lot of fun. So we're going to do a greatest hits episode, which is going to be me, Sam, and Isaac listening to moments from Metal Gear's past and making jokes. You can come and listen to. Are we the assholes that are reacting to ourselves reacting to things? We are a Bo Burnham sketch. That is what we have become.
We're a white woman's Instagram.
Yes. But yeah, so we're going to be doing greatest hits episode. And then the final and 4th episode will be the send-off grand finale featuring a lot of special messages from people, as well as, and I cannot stress this enough, one of the greatest interviews we have ever received for this podcast.
I'm gonna say this. This interview was not on my bingo card for 2021. But now that it has been checked off on my bingo card, I am incredibly happy. Like, I'm so happy.
I think this there could not have been a better guest to close the show off.
Honestly, yeah. Anybody, if you ever listen to the show, if you like what we did, send us a listener response. Type your message. Tell us.
Record an MP3, whatever you got.
If you can, record a message if you want to. Write in a message, we'll read it. Like, tell us about how your life has changed from when you like. Not that was a little like. I mean, like in
tell
general,
us how we changed your life.
Yeah, not because of us. Just like tell us, like we talked about in the first episode, the first family reunion episode, about like where and in the other round is like where we were when we first started doing Metal Gear Mondays and where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that, like when you first started listening to the show versus where you are now, and if that was back in 2015, if that was yesterday, like just send a message, do a message. We want to hear from you. So listeners, one and all, send us a message. Do we still have a live email address to gather all of those?
Yeah, we do. So contact at metalgearmonday.com, metalgearmondays.com, contact at metalgearmondays.com.
Mm-hmm.
Metal gearsmonday@gmail. The easiest one for me to collect all these things would be alessio@alessiosummerfield.com.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the easiest for me. Or you can just go to alessiosummerfield.com
Mm-hmm.
or acsummerfield.com and send me that shit. But I will make sure that we receive other stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can tweet at doesn't have a twit. And he will definitely get
Please
back.
don't.
Yeah, please don't. It'll never see the light of day. You could tweet at Sam versus Sam, VERSUS. It's spelled out. Or you can go to youtube.com/Sam versus Sam and see what I'm doing now. Somebody actually left a YouTube comment on one of my YouTube videos. That's
nice.
basically a listener response for the show that I'm gonna bring to the table too. So like legitimately, that's also a way to get a listener response is to leave a comment on my YouTube channel.
I love it. Nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, you know where we're at. At AC Summerfield on everything.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, so we're doing greatest hits. We're doing the fun send off messages episode. I think that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, and it's always right there in front of my fucking face.
Is it about like corrugated stuff? Does it have to do with like
I'm always thinking about corrugated stuff, man. How did you
my corrugated pants just came in the mail. They're very uncomfortable.
Except for whenever I move at a very specific angle.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that should make me feel uncomfortable or not.
Isaac, what do you know about corrugated paper products?
Corrugated sheet metal?
No.
That,
paper product.
Nah, dude, nah. You got it holds up. There's strength to corrugation. And there's strength and unity with what we're doing here, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So you could almost say that we are the corrugation of life.
And if we took it a step further, you could almost say that we're just a box.
A cardboard box?